about Tunisia, everything about Tunisia, about the Tunisian culture, about the food from Tunisia, about the art, Tunisian art forms. Yeah, it's going to be very interactive and engaging session for all of you. If you have any questions, always use the chat room and just you can ask your questions over there. And all the sessions are going to be like a conversational. We will have someone who will ask question to the host, and once we will be done with the question answer, then we will take questions from the audience. Okay, so just wait for your turn. You can always put your question in the chat room, or if you want to ask your question, just wait for your turn, and just raise your hand and we will ask you to unmute yourself and ask questions. All right. So with that, we will start the first session for today, which is going to be hosted by Soraya. So we have Soraya from Tunis, and she gonna be speaking about everyday Tunisia. All right. So how the life is there, how culture of Tunisia is unique and different in its own way. And we have Natraj with us, who will be asking some questions with Soraya. So Natraj, are you there?
Sort of, yes, I'm right here. Can you all hear me? Hi.
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay. All right. Okay. So all right. So over to you guys.
Hey, Suraya.
Hi.
Hello. Hi.
Hello.
How are you? How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Great, great. So good to have you. Sorry, I'm a bit late, but yeah, here I am.
It's okay.
Yeah. So yes, we will start with the question about what the most famous, most popular art form in Tunisia is. What's the national pastime of Tunisia, if I may say so?
I can't hear you, sorry. So what's the famous?
What's the most famous, what's the most popular, art form? Like, out here it's Bollywood, right? Out here in India, it's Bollywood. So what does everybody like to do in Tunisia? Like, what's the national pastime?
For art, you mean for art or?
Yeah, for art, yeah.
We have many activities, actually. I don't know if you are, if you know the festivals that we have. We have many international festivals. We have the cinema or the movies festival that will be held in November this year, the GCC. Okay. It's an international festival because many people in Tunisia love to see movies, African movies, Middle Eastern movies. Some other people like to watch also the Bollywood movies industry. We are very sensitive to music as well. Many types of music, like Arabian one, European one, of course Latin one, African. So we have international festival of Carthage, for example, that is usually held every year. For this year, it was exceptional because of the COVID-19. We had to cancel many concerts, many manifestations, but the culture in Tunisia is very important. Like we are very known by being interested by reading, by going to cinema to see movies, to go to festivals, to concerts. It's an important part of the daily life of a Tunisian person.
Okay. So what I get from your answer is, like everywhere else, movies are a very important activity out there. Yeah, in Indonesia.
Yes, many people are. Yes, many people love to see movies.
Okay. What across the world, across all the continents, Hollywood has a disproportionate amount of popularity. Everybody knows Hollywood. Right. Is it the same in Tunisia? Because, but in India, I don't know. I mean, India could be one of those places where the local industry is as strong as, no, it's probably a lot stronger than Hollywood. So what's the case in Tunisia? Does Hollywood rule, or is it a different industry, like maybe the French, or, maybe Bollywood? Or,
yeah.
How does it work there?
No, we are far from being like India or America, actually, because we don't have a strong industry. the production is a
Yes.
little bit weak. So we don't have like a
Yes.
big production for movies like in Egypt, for example, in India or in US or even in Europe. So we have like few movies that can be produced per year, sometimes for more than 1 year. But the quality of the movie is more often interesting because you find that the writer and the producer is putting a subject and working hard on it. So you know, that's why the population in Tunisia is always like thirsty for Tunisian movies, because we often wait for them, and that's because we don't have a big production like in Bollywood, for example.
One question, Soraya, but like I think Netflix has caught up, and Netflix has lots of Tunisian shows now, isn't it?
Yes, another thing. This because this is new, but now it's really emerging. Netflix now is being the main activity maybe for Tunisian. Well, except me, because I'm not really addicted to Netflix. But especially the new generation, they are all the time seeing like series, movies on Netflix. I don't know if it's really a good thing, but it's a phenomenon. So we have to be updated anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Well, that was a very good insight. So you know, movies are something that would keep you entertained without having to venture too far. You know, from wherever you are. Like, you know, you probably just go out for a bit and you walk into the theater and you're entertained. But if we were to travel, you know, if we had the time and if we were to travel to Tunisia, what would you recommend? You know, the Atlas in the north, or the desert in the south, or you know, Tunisia has a very diverse
Absolutely.
culture and geography, right? I mean, considering its size, considering how little, how small it is, you have a very diverse topography from the Sahara in the south to the Atlas in the north, and such a long coastline too. So yeah, what would you have to say about you know, your take on this diversity and the different locations in Tunisia?
Yes, so it's do you want me to tell you the must see places, or like, because actually it depends. It depends on many factors, like on the season, for example, on the preference of the traveler, if he likes the
Okay.
beach or more the Sahara, etc. And it depends also on the length of the journey. If it's a short stay, I would recommend a traveler to focus on the capital of Tunis, to explore many places like the typical town, the Medina, which with its architecture, the Arabian and Andalusian architecture. You have the downtown, the Carthaginian ruins, the Roman ruins that are located in the northern suburb of Tunis, and of course Sidi Bou Said, a village that is located on the top of a hill near the sea. So it's spectacular and it's very famous worldwide. These are the most known things or sightseeing to visit in the capital. Now, if a person would like to spend more time in Tunisia, like 10 days or 15 days, I would recommend to visit, of course, many towns outside the capital, but it depends on the season. For example, if a person is in Tunisia for spring or in autumn, he can have the choice to go to the south. I recommend the south because the time there will be very sweet for a unique Sahara experience. You have the palm gardens, the oasis, and even about the diversity. Even in the south, you have a diverse places, because the south, the eastern south and the western south are different. So you may have many experiences in the south itself. Now, if the person is more like sensitive to the beach, for example, we have many islands like Jerba Islands, Kerkena Islands. In the south, we have 1,300 kilometers of beach, and from the coasts, like Mediterranean beach, or the person can go to the northwest, where you have huge mountains, you have forests, and it's another atmosphere. So actually, the choice is very difficult because we have many things to visit in Tunisia, many places.
Yes. It's kind of like if it's a summer, you can probably go to the hills, and if it's the autumn or spring, like you said, we can probably go to the south and
To the
yeah,
south or to the northwest, yes.
northwest. Yes, that does make sense. So having said that, Soraya, uh, if I'm sure you've traveled to a lot of places. What was your favorite place to be ever, like in the whole world, I would say? Which place impressed you the most?
Okay, because the question is difficult too, because first of all, we have so many places in the world that are awesome and beautiful, and I haven't been there. I haven't been everywhere yet, but through my
Okay.
experience, one place that I loved is Lisbon in Portugal. Actually, I love south of Europe and Mediterranean area. Uh, Portugal is not a Mediterranean country, but it's very close to Spain and to North Africa. So I found there a
Yes.
really nice atmosphere. The monuments are great. The culture is very positive. People sing there all the time. The food is delicious. It's safe. It's clean. It's calm. So I found there everything I like. So south of Portugal too was great. Um, the ocean was cold for me as a Mediterranean, but it was very nice to explore the south of the country and Lisbon. So my favorite place, I would say, it's Lisbon.
Okay, guys, I would just like to pause you guys for a bit, okay, because I wanted to make an announcement. So just that I want to let know everyone that we will have a quiz throughout the session, and the quiz will be based on what hosts are talking about, okay? That's just to ensure that you guys are attentive, okay?
Yes. Sure, Sarah. Yeah. So, and in one of the previous questions, Soraya, we were talking about the Carthaginian ruins, right? Carthage is this legendary history of, it is probably the foundational history of Tunisia, the way I see it. So, what level of impact does the, you know, Carthaginian times, what level of impact do they have on the present
Again,
life?
I can't hear you very clearly. Sorry. Could you repeat, please?
Yeah, sure.
Lost. What?
Yeah. So Carthage, as a kingdom, it was
Yes.
so huge. It was literally the most. It was the biggest competitor to Rome, to the Empire of Rome.
Roma. Yes. Yes.
Yes, and but barely anybody would know the empire amongst all of us here. So
Okay.
what I'd like to know is out here we are still very deeply connected to the culture and to the way of life 2000 years ago. Whatever was there in India, we are still kind of connected in a way. So is it the same? Is it that way with Tunisia? Like, is there any connection to the Carthaginian, times, or what level of influence does the kingdom?
Yeah, it has an influence. Yes, actually, for the people who don't know so much about this empire, actually, it was an empire, and it has been founded by the Phoenician who came from south of Lebanon, from Tyre, and established so they settled down in North Africa and Tunisia. And they faced the Berber. Then they asked the permission to build the foundation of Carthage, or the empire of Carthage. The legend says that it has been founded by a woman called Lisa. And now some other historians say this is only a legend, so we don't have the confirmation yet. But for us, it's a pride. This empire has been so powerful through centuries. It was effectively, again, it was fighting all the time Roma, and it was the big enemy of Roma who wanted at the time to invade Tunisia and to control it. So we have a hero named Hannibal, one of the heroes of this empire, who was not only like a king or a manager of the military.
If I may add, Hannibal is known to everybody, most of us around the world, as the most competent general ever in history. Hannibal is a legendary
Absolutely,
character.
because he was not only a king or something, he was also a leader, and he was very intelligent. He always tried to find ways to surprise the enemy, not like on a classical way. His fights used to be very uncasual, and he made the tactical plans all the time, trying to leading the militaries, etc. So this is why we are proud of this history, because it's a part of our identity. And Carthage was huge. So Roma was not an easy enemy. So the fact that he used to be resistant, it reminds us all the time now, even nowadays, that we are really resistant as people, as population. We can be through tough times, but when we remember that we are like our ancients used to be the Phoenician or the Berber or any other roots, we can remember that we are strong as a nation, so, and as a civilization. So this is the influence that we have for today, for example. And another thing is that we used to dominate the Mediterranean Bay. So Carthage was building many communes and south of Spain and south of Europe and North Africa. So we are so Mediterranean, and we have received many civilizations. This impact is still present now in Tunisia, because we received the Phoenician, the Carthaginian, the Berber before, then the Romans, the Ottoman, the Arabs. All these civilizations have been in Tunisia, and they left a trace in our dialect, in our mentality, in our daily life, in our food. So it's our identity. So that's why in the beginning, Sorav have said, for Tunisia, it's like a mixture of all this, and this is so true.
Great. Well, we've that was like quite a serious conversation. So to just lighten things up, I was kind of sort of started this introduction to the Tunisian culture by giving us photographs of Tunisian doors, if I remember correctly. The colorful doors, Saurabh, was that Tunisia, or am I mixing up
Right.
things here?
No, yes, that's very much Tunisian. I think,
Okay.
yeah, that's kind of a signature for Tunisia.
So, what's the deal behind this beautiful doors that you guys seem to have in Tunisia?
Well, the doors,
Soraya.
it's a whole story. For the doors, we have many. You have the colors that are reflecting the place. For example, if it's near the sea, you may find, for example, like in Sidi
Okay.
Bou Said or in La Goulette or in the northern suburb of Tunis or in the typical towns of the coast, you will find the color of the doors is blue or white.
Okay.
It's like a reflection of the Mediterranean spirit. Okay,
Okay.
it
Okay.
can be brown if you are in the Medina, for example, or in downtown. It can be brown or yellow and white as well. And
Okay.
in these doors you can find sometimes some signals, symbols. These symbols are also a reflection of a
Okay.
culture because the artisans that used to manufacture these doors and these symbols, first of all, they are handmade. So the artisans that used to work on these doors used to be Italian and Tunisian and Jewish Tunisian. So each one of them used to represent his culture in these symbols. So if you look very carefully to the symbols of the doors, you will find, for example, a star representing the Islamic, for example, religion. You will find the crescent representing the Arabian culture. You will find a kind of tree representing the Ottoman way to protect themselves. You will find another star representing maybe the Jewish religion. And you have many symbols. Sometimes you can find a cross representing the Italian religion as a Catholic. And this used to be made in peace, because in Tunisia all these communities used to live together, like Italians, French, Andalusian that came from south of Spain, and Tunisian and locals, Muslim locals, for example. And this used to be represented whether in art or in the artisanal manufacture, like these doors.
So what you're saying is, just by looking at the door, just by looking at the entrance to a house, I could have a fairly decent picture of what lies behind the doors, who lies behind the doors.
Exactly, yes.
Okay, great. Well, that was fun knowledge. So now I come back to a question that is probably a little serious, but also very useful for a lot of the audience here. So, travel is experienced, differently. People travel in groups, people travel solo, guys travel solo, girls travel solo. So, guys travel solo pretty much, pretty freely, if I may say so. What's the situation in Tunisia for girls? What would you recommend, like, if somebody, like, let's say one of the ladies here wanted to travel to Tunisia alone, would you recommend it? And if
for a woman to come alone?
Yes.
It's feasible, because in Tunisia it's quite safe, even if we have been through difficult situations after the revolution, but now it's more stable. So a woman can travel solo to Tunisia, and I encourage, in general, as a female solo traveler, I encourage people and women to travel, to make this experience, so she can challenge herself, she can explore the country at her ease and connect with people. It's a wonderful experience, and safety is very important for women as well. So they can visit our country alone. However, I always give 3 tips to women traveling solo. The first one would be to make, and this is applicable for or applicable for all the destinations. First of all, you always have to make research about the destination. The more you have information about the country you visit, the more you master your journey. Okay, so you can avoid easily unpredictable situations or difficult situations. The second advice would be to connect with locals, because we have many platforms like the couch surfing one, like Facebook. We have many groups for connection, meetup, and etc. So the more you know locals, the better experience you will have, because they will guide you inside the country. They maybe will help you about some situations, and this is very perfect for a solo traveler. And the third one would be to pay attention to the clothes. You don't have to look like a tourist, you know. The more you look like a local or a resident, the safer you are. So when they look at you, if there's, for example, a pickpocket or something, they won't really pay attention that you are a foreigner or a tourist, because you will look like the locals. They won't dare to touch you or to aggress you or to pick you know, your money or something. So these are 3 tips that can help solo travelers to visit any country. And of course, in Tunisia, we have the police that is very present, we have safety, and people are very helpful. So it's really feasible.
Okay. So my takeaway from your answer would be to first understand Tunisia well, you know, gather as much information as you can.
Yes, to make research
And
about the places and the
yes.
itinerary. Yeah.
And be with the local, make connections locally, you know.
Yes.
That was the second thing that you said. And the
Yes,
third, and
yes.
look like a local. Yeah?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so these are the 3. Super. So, all right. You know, we've taken quite a lot of knowledge from you. So before we leave, the final question: what would an Indian, you know, love the most about Tunisia?
Tunisia?
What would you think? Yeah.
Well, I think the first thing will be food, because Indian food is very famous, and the Tunisian food is it's really spicy and delicious, but it's different from what Indian used to eat. So most of Indians here like food and the spicy sauces and the dishes, the popular ones. The second thing that Indians like is the colorful places like Sidi Bou Said or La Medina of Hammamet or Tunis, and the hospitality of the people.
Okay. Okay. Great. So it's food and the color and the hospitality. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
By the way,
All right.
guys, I have to make an important announcement. If any of you guys are feeling hungry, just have a look at Mehdi's video. Mehdi has put up the entire street food of Tunisia. It's on display, and he's showing us.
I would say,
oh my God.
Yeah, I would say that what Mehdi has brought is not even enough. We have much more and more. So you have to visit really to go eat more things. Yeah, but it will be a nice introduction from Mehdi.
Wow. I hope that,
Thank you so much.
you know, Mehdi would try this food in front of us live, and probably we will get to know a little bit about how it tastes like. You know, like,
I will get more hungry.
Okay.
All right.
Also,
so it was.
okay. Also, guys,
No, I was
as
just
I told you, is
thanking her
that
for her time.
sorry, you were saying something, Natra?
I was just thanking her for her time. I said.
Right. Yeah. So
I was thanking
thanks a lot
Soraya for her time. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Welcome. You are welcome.
Yeah. So, guys, as I told you, is that before we move to the next session, we're going to have a quick quiz. And I'll ask a question. If you know the answer, just use the chat room to write the answer. Okay. And also, please don't use the chat room for writing random messages. Let's use chat room only for asking questions. Okay. Like I'm seeing that how you all the students have made it like a common chat room and having a chat among themselves. So no, please don't do that. Okay, so here is a question, and the question is only for
Sir, I can't hear you.
Yes, Saurav, I think we lost you somewhere, so you can unmute yourself.
Just a minute. So the question is, just tell us Tunisian island, name of a Tunisian island. Can you hear me?
No Googling, guys. Nobody should Google this. Yeah.
Okay. Oh yes. I'm not surprised. Sidra said it. Tanvi as well. Okay. I think Rishivani is the first one to give the right answer. Okay, so I think we got the right answer from Sidra, Rishivani, and Tanvi. Okay, but Rishivani is the first one. Okay, so we have something for Rishivani. All right. Okay. Thanks, guys. Yeah. So Jerba is one of the island. Okay, and before we go to the next session, I just want to let you guys know that we will, after the end of every session, we will have a question. Okay, so please make sure you are attentive during the session. All right. And now we can go to the next session for the day, which is going to be hosted by Mayank, and we have just a minute. We have Ayadi. Ayadi, are you there? Can you hear me? Ayadi, can you hear me? Just a minute.
Saurabh, he's currently not here. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's come. Yeah.
All right. Sorry, there's some issue with the connection. So yeah, I think we can move on to the next session for the day, which is gonna be hosted by Ayadi. Yeah.
Hi.
Hey, Ayadi.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us. Hi. So yeah, Mayank will be co-hosting the session. So Mayank has some questions for you.
Okay.
Can I start now?
Sure.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so my first question is about this popular game. I don't know how do you pronounce it. Chakoba, is that right?
You mean Shkoba?
Huh. Can you tell us about the game and how it's played?
Yes, it's a card game. You have around 16 cards, and you play with either 2 people or 4 people. And we put 4 cards on the table, and each one has 3 in their hand. And then, for example, if you have an 8 in your hand, you can take from the table like 5-3 or another 8, and the game finishes when the cards are no more on the table. And what else? Yeah, that's
The person whose cards finishes the first, the one who wins.
yeah, and not the first, but the one who has more score. Like when you count when you eat from the table, the more you gain cards, the more you have score. And you have special cards like the 7. Yeah, that's it.
And what about Rami? The game similar to it.
Rami also you can play with maximum of 4 people, and you have 4 special cards, which are jokers. And the jokers are like you can play the joker. It's any card. The joker can be a 2. The joker can be a 3, and you have to make like a pack of cards. It's a little complicated. Yeah.
Okay, then I wanted to ask you about the popular tourist attractions in Indonesia, like which are some of the most popular ones where people can travel when we come to Indonesia. Yeah, the popular tourist attractions.
Yeah, like the special places in Tunisia. We have a lot of places. For example, if you come during the summer, you can go to the beaches. We have many seasides. Also, you can go to Sidi Bou Said. It has many doors, and it's like the architecture is like Greece, like Santorini.
Asian kind of.
You can also come to Carthago. Carthago and the Cathedral of Carthago. What else? You can come to El Jam. We have a really big theater, which is really old. The Roman used to play have shows there with different kind of animals. You know, the Roman traditions. Also, if you come during winter, you can go to the Sahara, which is in south, to Matmata. We have there the Star Wars, where the movie Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know the movie.
Yeah, I've seen the movie. So it was shot in Tunisia.
What? Sorry.
It was shot in Tunisia.
It's hot, like the weather.
No, the movie.
Oh yes, it was shot in Tunisia. Yes.
I know that.
We have also special collectors which sell like the pieces they come from all around the world, this place, and they buy like the special pieces of the movie, like I don't know,
like auction kind of.
Boards, yeah.
Okay. And like, what would be the most fun places for like the teenagers or something, like for students traveling to Tunisia or people like our age, youngsters?
Like I was saying, you know, the Sahara is really cool. You have special cars and buggy and special motors, sports in Sahara. You can also go to the central of Tunis. You have Gamart. We have many bars and clubs and themed clubs and gay bars and many stuff. It's like really cultured. Yeah, that's mainly it.
Then can you tell us about the people in Tunisia and how, you know, foreigners, because I heard English isn't really much used in Tunisia, so how can foreigners interact with the people in Tunisia, with the locals?
Actually, English is pretty it is pretty current. Also French, yeah, French.
French is
I would say
used.
Arab, French, and then English.
French and what about, I heard Arab? I think Arab is used, right?
No, we actually speak Tunisian. It's not
Tunisian.
like, yeah, it's a mix of many languages. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, that's it. Then can you tell us about the different cultures in Tunisia, like, you know, because there's a lot of cultures, like just like
Yes.
India, many different cultures. Yeah.
You know, actually Tunisia, we have mainly Muslims here, so it's like Muslims traditions. You have two special days which are called Eid. You have Eid the big Eid and the small Eid. The big Eid, we make a sacrifice, like a sheep sacrifice, or it can be a cow, or it can be I don't know, camel or a goat. And the small Eid is to commemorate the birth of our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
So more
We
like
have Ramadan also, you know, Ramadan, when we fast, like the month of fasting.
So like festivals like Eid and Ramadan must be widely celebrated in Tunisia, right? Like with grand celebrations.
Yes.
Then can you tell us about the climate in Tunisia, the weather throughout the year, or how it normally is?
Okay. So it's mainly really hot. Like the temperature goes to 45 in the summer, and I can even speak like in the south, it's really, really hot. They can't even go outside. But in the north, we have snow. It can snow. Yes, and in spring, it's like, I would say 25, 21.
What about the rains and monsoon
Yes.
weather? How is it?
Sometimes it's snowing in the north and it's
Huh.
really hot in the south. So
So it's different at both the sides.
yes.
Oh.
No, not in summer. The snow is winter.
So yeah. So then I've heard Tunisia is very popular for the seafood you get there. Can you tell us about the food and the seafood in Tunisia? Like, yeah.
Yes, we have a lot of seafood. As you can see in the map, Tunisia is coasted by the Mediterranean Sea. So, and in the Mediterranean, it has like the most population of seafood. So yeah, there's a special village in Tunisia which is called Sfax, and a little island next to it which is called Qarqna. They have the most fishes there and the most seafood.
So it's mostly seafood you get in Tunisia, or what about the other kind of?
Seafood, many kind of fishes, crabs. What else? Yeah, that's it. That's all we eat.
That's all. My side.
So one quick question, Ayadi. I think I read it somewhere that there is tuna in everything in Tunisia. Like you add
Yes,
tuna
we love
on
tuna. Yes, tuna. Tuna and zit harissa, pepper, and zit zituna. I don't know, oil. The olive oil is very popular in Tunisia.
So, is that why your country is called Tunisia, because you have tuna with everything?
No, actually, Tunisia means in Tamaziran language, it means the key. It's the key of Africa. That's what Tunisia means.
Okay, that's interesting. Thanks.
Not right. I would like to add one information about this, if it's possible. Yeah, about the
Please.
tuna, actually, it's very popular in Tunisia. And if you make some research, you will discover that in Carthage Empire, during this empire, and even after this, the Romans used to eat so much fish. The manufacture of fish was very popular at that time. And I think from generation to the other, and from a civilization to the other, we conserved this habit, and until now it's very popular. And it's not it's really linked to the Tunisian daily life. You won't find this in Morocco or in Algeria, for example, and not even in the Middle East. And it's even a small joke. I have an Italian friend that once told me that the taste of the tuna in Tunis is more delicious and special than the tuna of Italy, even if they are both in the Mediterranean Sea. But it's like maybe linked to the saltness of the water. It's different from the Tunisian side than the Italian side. So the tuna is really an important ingredient with the harissa in our food.
Yeah, so when I went out to find why Tunisia is called Tunisia, I found that it was so called because of the capital city Tunis, right? The country is called Tunisia because the capital is Tunis. And so there was no reason why Tunis is called Tunis. And so I went on to think that Tunis is called Tunis because everybody eats tuna there. So anyways, yeah, now the fish connection makes sense. So you've been eating fish all the time since Carthage till now, yeah?
Sorry, what?
So you've been eating fish all the time since Carthage till now. So that's the connection.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Okay, I get that. Thank you.
One question, like, do they make bowls with olive wood. I mean, is that true?
Yes, it is true. Like from very, very old trees. But I don't think they do it now. Like they do it only for tourists, so they could sell special pieces. Or for decoration.
All right.
Tunisia is also popular for the production of dates, right? Like I heard the dates you get in Tunisia are like really, I don't know much, but I read it somewhere about the olive oil production and the dates production.
Yes,
in
the dates,
Tunisia.
yes. Yeah, we have a lot of, yeah, it is true.
Yes.
Also, the production of wine. We have 3 big firms which produce really good wine.
Ayadi,
Yes.
how many seafoods do you eat in total?
Like for a meal or like in general, I don't know.
In general,
How many seafoods, like how many species or in a plate or I don't know.
species.
Okay, like we eat the fish, but not all the fishes. We don't eat dolphins or you know, the mammals. We don't eat them. We only eat small fishes. Tuna, also we eat tuna. We eat I'm sorry, I don't I don't know the names in English, but
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Yes.
What is the famous animal of the
What? Sorry.
national animal of Tunisia?
The animal.
The national animal of Tunisia, if there is any, yeah.
The national animal. Huh. I think no. I think it's the شو اسمه ماجد النسر. The eagle, I think. It's either the eagle or شو اسمها الغزالة. The deer. It's either the eagle or the deer. I don't know if you saw the Tunis Air, the air flight. It's the deer.
So, Ayadi, do you have any national anthem in Tunisia?
Yes, of course.
So Ayadi, is it possible for you to just sing a line? We would like to listen how it sounds like.
I'm not really good with it, but
Sorry, just
It's
give
all right.
ايش اغنيها معي؟ ايش اغنيها معي؟ بحطها في يوتيوب. Wait, I will put it in YouTube. It's a better voice than my voice.
Okay.
So the writing of this anthem was for a really popular poet, which is called Abu al-Qasim al-Shabi. And he loved Tunisia very much, and he wrote especially when he was writing, he was sitting beside the jasmine tree, which is also very popular in Tunisia, the jasmine.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Ayadi?
Actually, my name is not Ayedi. My name is Khadija, but my last name is Ayedi.
We are vegetarian, and if we want to visit Tunisia, then what we will eat in vegetarian?
Sorry, I can't hear you.
We are vegetarian, and if we visit Tunisia, what
Yes.
will eat in vegetarian?
Vegetarian. You can eat shan. Yes, we have a plate which is called shan tunsi. You have olive oil and 3 kinds of salads. You have you have carrot salad, which is called khoureya. You have salata mishwiya, the grilled salad, and the green salad.
Is falafel popular there?
What?
Sorry, is falafel popular there, like it is in
Pepper?
other Middle Eastern countries?
Yes,
Falafel,
yes,
falafel.
of course. We make harissa from it too. Harissa is really important. You have to have harissa in every meal.
No, falafel. Falafel is like falafel balls. Falafel is you use lentils and then you fry it and then you make falafel.
Well, falafel is a veg shawarma for a lot of us. It's like the shawarma but veg.
No, falafel. We have them, but not very traditional. We eat them, yeah.
Okay.
So is
All right,
Tunisia in Egypt?
Tunisia. What? Excuse me.
Is Tunisia in Egypt?
No, Egypt is another country. Tunisia is another
Is
country.
there any Indian restaurant in Tunisia?
Excuse me, I can't hear you very well.
Is there any Indian restaurant in Tunisia?
Is there any?
Indian restaurant in Tunisia.
I've been to 2 restaurants, but I don't know if there's more.
Ayadi? Excuse me.
Yes.
Which is a famous place in Tunisia?
The most visited place.
Famous place in Indonesia.
Famous places. There are many famous places. Sidi Bou Said, the center of Tunisia, the souk, the market, the traditional markets, the old villages, the Roma theater, the Roman, not Roma, Carthago, the cathedral, the Sahara, Hammamet, many places.
Can you just name some popular rivers of Tunisia?
I'm sorry, I can't hear very well.
I mean to say that, can you just name some popular rivers of Tunisia? Rivers.
Some popular
Rivers.
rivers.
Yeah.
Yes, we have with Majorda River, which goes from Algeria to us. It goes, yeah. We have one big famous river. It crosses Tunisia, and then goes to Libya.
All right. Okay, guys, we are running a little late. So what I'll do is, Ayadi, sorry for pronouncing your name wrong.
It's okay. My name is
all this while we
Khadija.
say your surname. Khadija. Okay.
Khadija.
Yes. So forgive us for that.
No, it's okay. You only pronounced my last name, so.
And your first name, how do you pronounce it? Khadija. Khadija. Okay.
Ayadi, what is your hobby?
Okay, so Bhavika, we are running little late in time, so you can definitely follow Khadija's Instagram, and you can ask her question. You can go follow her Instagram. Yes, Khadija, can you please share with us where can we go follow you, and can you share like how you guys started the blog about food in Tunisia?
Yes, actually, I love food, and all my friends loves food. So we decided to do this little Instagram page And when we go somewhere to eat, we post what we ate and the price near it, so people can go to this page and get advices about that's it. So the page is called Food in Tunisia, and the picture is yellow.
Okay, so can you please also share in the chat box? Just, I think it will be easier for people to go follow
Yes,
it.
I will just try it now.
Okay, so thank you so much for sharing with us about just Tunisian things, about sharing all these tips and answering all your questions.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Great. So yeah, with that, we'll move to the next session for today, and we have Sidra, who traveled to Tunisia. She's from Malaysia, but she's traveled to Tunisia, and she will be sharing with us about her experience and how was it. Sidra, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Hi, everyone.
Hi, nice to see you
I'm
after
Tina
such a
from
long
Malaysia.
time. Oh, so just to let you guys know that Sidra has been one prolific traveler. She has traveled all around the world. I had a chance to travel with her to few countries. Like we traveled together to New Zealand and in Thailand and Laos. But I have been seeing her pictures, and she has traveled all over in Iran, not lots of North African countries. So I felt like it will be great.
Saurabh, you're muted again, I think. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. So yeah, so what I was sharing is that what I was telling is, Sidra has traveled extensively all around from Oceania to Southeast Asia to North Africa, and I felt like she would be the right person to share with us about her travel experience. I wanted to get an idea of not a local, but someone from a different country, and how was their experience traveling in Tunisia. So Sidra will be sharing with us about her trip to Tunisia, what things she found interesting, and all things that is required for a traveler to plan their trip to Tunisia. Okay, so Sidra, my first question to you is that as a traveler, how was Tunisia for you? Like, what made you decide to go there, and what was the most interesting part of your trip to Tunisia?
Okay. Hi, everyone. So basically, the reason why I chose Tunisia in the first place was because I've done some parts of Europe before, and I've lived in Australia, and I've pretty much seen quite a bit of Asia. So like Africa is a continent which I have yet to like really see with my own eyes. But yeah, so and the thing about Africa is that it's such a huge continent, and also as a non-African, like going there is really expensive. Like you can never find cheap tickets to, say, for example, Kenya or Tanzania. And I was lucky because at that time when I booked my flight, because it was it was winter season, so usually when during winter prices will drop, so that's considered the low season. So I guess what drew me to Tunisia was the fact that it's one of those countries that were once under the Ottoman Empire. So there's so much interesting history about Tunisia. And yeah, what strikes me the most is the fact that like it's just really different from that stereotypical viewpoint about Africa. Because when you tell people about Africa, everyone keeps thinking it's all about the safari and dark-skinned people, or people going hunting and wild animals and poverty. But then Africa is actually a lot more than that. It's really complex. And you go all the way up north to Tunisia, for example, or to even Libya and Algeria and Morocco. It's very it's more Middle Eastern, but then there's a bit of that European touch because of the fact that it was colonized by by the Europeans. Like in Tunisia, they were once part of the French colonization. And then, but it's not necessarily just that, because when you go to Tunisia and you really pay attention to the way the people look and to the way how each buildings look in different cities, like it's a combination of everything. Like you see some parts of French, you'll see some parts of Arabs, and then you'll see like some Turkish influence and also a bit of, when you go way south, there's that big African touch to it. So Tunisia is really interesting in that sense, like every part of Tunisia, like from all the way to north to the south, it's just really different. So I would say that if you want to go there, like you would need perhaps at least a minimum of 1 week for you to be able to really understand the country and the history and why it is the way it is now. And I guess like when I first bought my tickets, I got a lot of questions from people asking me why Tunisia, because everyone, like I get like the thing about Tunisia is that people tend to think of it as an unsafe place because of all the problems that you went through, and especially after 2011 during the whole Arab Spring, when protests broke out in Tunisia and Libya and Egypt and all pretty much most parts of the Middle East. But people tend to forget that when problems like that happen, it actually brings out a slight advantage, because when things like that happen, that's like, when you fast forward to a few months later, that's when the countries become really desperate for more tourists. So all the prices just drop. So that's what happened with Tunisia, like over the last few years, where they really they're trying to invite more people into the country to make it as hospitable as they could. And if you have a look at Wikipedia, for instance, you can see like the list of countries that can actually enter Tunisia without paying for a visa, and it's a long list. So I'm not sure about Indian citizens, but Malaysia is now one of those countries where we can actually go there for free.
Mm-hmm. Great. Also, yeah, just to add to what you just said is, with the Arab Spring thing happening in Tunisia, and after that they needed tourists because it was needed for the economy. I would also like to add here is that what I have noticed is that even if there is a little bit of civil unrest for travelers, it's mostly fine to visit a country. Like very recently, I went to Nicaragua, and Nicaragua was going through a similar situation. And as a tourist, I felt perfectly safe over there. So I think even if there is a kind of a political revolution happening in a country, even if US has put up a travel advisory, I think it makes sense to check with the locals there to get a fair idea about what exactly is the situation, and then you can plan your trip. Most of the time, as a traveler, it's going to be... Okay, sorry guys. I think someone unmuted herself. So guys, can you please mute yourself because there is a discussion going on. Okay, so sorry about that. So yes, so just in case any of you guys are planning a trip to a country where there could be a situation similar to Arab Spring or any kind of political unrest, it makes sense to just check with the local first. And I feel like it's fine even if there is travel advisory. As a traveler, if you can fly into a country, most likely it's gonna be okay and not much of a problem. So Sidra, just to get an idea, you flew in from Australia into Tunisia, or you flew in somewhere else and traveled into Tunisia?
Oh wow, I have left Australia a long time ago. Like I came back to Malaysia in 2015. So I'm based in Kuala Lumpur now. Yeah, so in terms of the cheap flights, I'm just telling this from my perspective as a Malaysian. So perhaps like the flights that you might need to take from India is different. So like if you were to fly from Kuala Lumpur, like for me, the cheapest flight option at that time was Air Arabia. So there's that, there's a stopover in Dubai. Yeah, but then there are some other like cheap flights like Fly Dubai. I think Fly Dubai is pretty affordable as well, but you might need to check. So I would say that the best website for you to look for the cheapest flight options for you would be Skyliner. So just pick a date, pick a destination, and then see like the list of all these flights that were available. So usually the cheapest one would show on the top.
Right,
So
right.
that you can-
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, I feel like even from India, it's gonna be Air Arabia or Fly Dubai, but Fly Dubai, I don't think is reliable. Like I had lots of flights in Fly Dubai which got cancelled at the last moment. So Fly Dubai, I think I won't consider that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the greatest, but at least like it, if you really want to save money, sure, you can go for it. But like, yeah, as what Saraf has said, like you can expect flight delays, and then like the sittings, they're not really that comfortable. The food is like so, you know.
Yeah, yeah. But so yeah, so guys, if you're planning from India, I think Air Arabia is also a very good option from India. And Air Arabia has flights from lots of cities in South India and also from Mumbai. So you can fly from Kochi and you can fly from Mumbai and you can fly via Dubai into Tunisia. But also, I would like to know from you or anyone else who know about that. So a lot, I think, so southern part of Italy is quite close to Tunisia. Do you know if there are any cargo service or ferry which can go from South Italy into Tunisia? Is that an option?
Well, that's possible. You can travel from Italy to Tunisia by boat or by ferry, but it's actually really expensive because they would make you pay for the nicer cruise, of course. So it can easily cost you about at least $250 to $300 one way, if I'm not mistaken. So your best bet is to actually fly. Yeah, and then if you want to go crossing by land, it is possible. Like for me, when I was there, because I spent about 10 to 12 days there, but not just in Tunisia alone, because from Tunisia I did go to Algeria. So there is a bus. But just a slight warning though, the buses aren't really the best. Like, yeah, they're not that comfortable, and then the seats are really narrow and with such small space. And then if you travel long distance, like just expect the roads to not be comfortable. So you have to really prepare yourself mentally and emotionally, because like Tunisia is it's not as big as Algeria, but you know, the roads are long enough. So like, for example, from one state to another, like Tunis to Manmata, for example, can easily, like, you know, spend about 8 hours by bus, 8 to 10, I guess. Yeah. So, but if you want to come in from a country like Europe, from a country like Italy, for instance, your best bet is to actually to fly, because chances are flights are cheaper compared to ferries.
Right. Yeah. Like if I would be in a situation where I'm in south part of Italy and if I have to take a ferry, I would also check for the cargo ships, because like that's something I did when I was in Middle East. So going from Jordan to Egypt, it was possible to get a cargo ship, and you know, in cargo ship you can pay like $10-20 and they'll let you in and you can easily get there. So yeah, but that's for offbeat travelers. Not everyone would like to do it.
Yeah, that really depends on if you're able to get on the cargo ship in the first place.
Yeah. So how is Tunisia for the backpackers? Do you see backpackers over there, or it's mostly people who come there for honeymooning or holidaying, more of a family trip? How is it?
Actually, there were several backpackers. It's just that they're not as many as what you would find in Thailand, for instance, or in India even, because it's not really a popular country, and especially because it's just really like at the top, but right in the middle of Africa. So, you know, going there, if you can find like a reasonable price flight ticket, then you are lucky. But there were quite I mean, of course, I did meet a few backpackers there. Like, I think I met one. Yeah, so they're from pretty much countries like Europe, and I met a group of travelers from China. Well, you know, everywhere you go, you're bound to meet people from China anyway. Yeah. So in terms of like, yeah, traveling as a backpacker in Tunisia isn't that complicated. It's just that if you don't know how to read or speak Arabic or French, then it might be a bit of a challenge for you, because like at least in Tunis, you can still find plenty of people speaking English, but then once you go out of it, and especially once you go all the way to the south, like the language barrier just gets, you know, just becomes more obvious.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not much of an English speaker over there. Don't find much.
Well, you can find more of them mostly in Tunis, but if you want to go out, like you can find them in the touristy area, but like not really in the local towns and such. And then in terms of staying over at hostels or hotels, I have yet to come across hostels. I guess it's not really a popular thing in Tunisia, because their style of like, when it comes to providing accommodation for travelers, is that it's usually like a one room with a double bed. Yeah, double bed or two beds, because it's pretty rare for people to travel to Tunisia alone. So I guess people there had the mindset of like preparing a room for two people. But when it comes to costing, I would say that your best bet would be by Airbnb, because it's actually cheaper than the hotels.
Okay. And so what was the highlight of the trip there in Tunisia? Any interesting stories you would like to share with us?
I would say the best part of Tunisia was pretty much Tatooine. If you're a Star Wars fan or a geek, you'll really enjoy that, because that's the place where they film Luke Skywalker's birthplace, where a lot of the actions took place. And people are amazing there as well, just very hospitable. So I was lucky because I happened to have a few Tunisian friends who helped introduce me to their friends in each state that I went to.
Just a minute. Now I know the real reason why you planned a trip to Tunisia. Okay.
Yes. So like any other countries, if you have friends, or if you don't have friends, like try to make one, try to create your own network. Like as what one of the earlier speakers told you, you can use couchsurfing or meetups and whatnot. Like there are plenty of ways for you to actually just get in touch with the locals, and chances are they will.
Ma'am, excuse me.
Sorry, you can ask questions later on. So let her finish first, okay? And then at the end you can ask.
So when we will start the virtual journey of Tunisia?
This is virtual journey. The whole idea of the virtual journey is to get to know the place through different hosts. So the entire session is all about talking about different aspects of Tunisian culture. Okay. So yes. So she's talking about travel. Then we'll have talk about food and so on. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
sorry. Go on.
Oh my gosh, where was I? I kind of forgot. I lost my train of thoughts.
About the friends in Tunisia.
Oh yes. So I guess regardless of whichever country you want to go for, it's always good to do a lot of reading about the country first, and then to establish some contacts. It doesn't matter if you don't have any friends. Like just join any online platform, like any meetups or couchsurfing, and then just ask a few questions, because chances are the people there will respond and they will give you some tips, and some of them will be even kind enough to actually want to meet up with you and even offer to take you to places around. So apart from, in addition to Matmata, I guess my other amazing experience was in Tunis itself. I think Tunis is just a very interesting city in itself. Like I said earlier, it's a combination of so many different cultures and so much history behind it. And if you do get a chance to go to Tunis, like go to that ancient mosque called the Zaytuna Mosque, and have a cup of tea on a rooftop cafe there. It's quite high up there. and you just
I've seen that picture.
Yeah, you saw that picture. Yeah, so you get to enjoy the view of the entire city. It's just perfect, you know.
Mm-hmm. Was there any cultural shock for you in Tunisia? Something you were not expecting at all?
Like for me, because I've been to a few Middle Eastern countries before, and I've been to Egypt. Egypt is also a North African country, so I can see a lot of similarities. So for me, and also because like being brought up as a Muslim myself, to me it's not exactly such a foreign thing for me to see people in headscarves or me being expected to cover up and all of that. So, and also because I happen to learn and understand a little bit of Arabic, so it's not so jarring for me. But it might be for people from like an entirely different country or continent, you know. But then I would say that if you grew up in a culture that's not too different, you pretty much like can understand and adapt to it,
okay,
you know, without much complications.
So with you knowing Arabic, could you pass on as a local over there?
Actually, I could. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I got lucky with that part. And especially because I traveled there with my mom, and my mom wears the headscarf and the long robe. So like, yeah, when people look at us, they think we're from there. So yeah.
Nice. So for, let's say if a backpacker wants to plan a trip to Tunisia, anything in particular one should be aware of, like things to be very careful of or plan in advance before going to Tunisia? Any heads up?
Okay, so once you get there, just be mindful that I think it's just the usual stuff. Like you obviously get so many taxi drivers want you to ride on their cabs and all, and they try to overcharge you. So that's one. And two, if you're traveling as a woman, it's good for you to be mindful of the way you dress up, because it's, you know, Tunisia may still be part French, but it's still a Muslim country. So like try not to wear something that's too revealing unless you're at the beach. But you don't need to cover up or wear a headscarf or anything, but just, you know, but just not show too much skin. They're quite open with alcohol. So you find plenty of bars around in Tunis. It's just that try not to like simply get drunk and drink in public, because they might get you in trouble, because the cops are pretty strict about that. And also Tunisia is pretty pro-Palestinian from my observation there. So you might want to be careful about when you start to discuss the whole Palestinian and Israeli conflict with them, because the moment when they find out that you are pro-Israeli, it might be a bit, you know, they might get offended. So just be mindful the way you talk about, you know, Tunisian or Middle Eastern politics with them.
Sorry to cut you here, but that's interesting, because what I heard is that Tunisia hosts the most number of Jews in the Maghreb world.
They do, yes. Yeah, I've heard of that as well. But interestingly enough, they're quite, I guess, just like many parts of the world, they feel very much empathetic towards what the Palestinians are going through, you know?
Okay, right. At the same time, I think Tunisia is, they're most open when it comes to, if you compare them with the other Maghreb world countries, other Arab countries, isn't it? Like, for example, you say that they are pretty much okay with the alcohol. Second, I think they have the highest number of atheists in that region, percentage-wise. So that also shows that their culture is a bit open. I mean, they're not very conservative when it compares to things like religion, right? So
yeah.
Did you notice that during your travel there? Does it show in the culture there?
Yes. So I haven't been to Morocco or Egypt, but like from what I have been informed by all the other travelers and also the locals there, like Tunisia is actually pretty laid back compared to these countries and even Algeria. So they're pretty open, and like I said, Tunis is very much like European city. It's almost like Paris. And all the Tunisians that have hosted me via Airbnb have been very, very liberal. And, you know, they're quite open about the fact that they don't really follow any religion. I guess the more conservative ones would be based in outside of the city, like especially when you go down south all the way to its, you know, the desert and such.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Interesting. I think you already mentioned some of the places not to be missed, but anything you did not mention so far and you would like to highlight if someone is planning, let's say, a 1 week long trip to Tunisia, then what are the places one should not miss?
Okay. Like for me, I try to make the most of my trip by covering 2 countries. Like I tend to do that. If I can go to more than 1 country, why not? But then for those people who really, really want to immerse themselves in just 1 country, Tunis is a good start. So that can give you like a heads up about the history of Tunisia and what the culture is like, what the people are really, really like. And then apart from Tunis, you should also consider Matmata or Tatawin, because that's like, yeah, I would say it's like no other place I've ever seen before. It's almost like a different planet, really. Just the whole sand dunes, the way the houses are built, and then the mountains. It's just like I've been to a few deserts before, but like not like Tatawin. It's just, yeah, it's I guess I can understand why George Lucas pretty much picked that location, really. I have never been to Tozer or the Sahara, but apparently that's a really popular spot and it's a must go. I mean, it's such a shame for me just because I didn't have a lot of time. But yeah, if you have the chance to go to Tozer or the Sahara Desert, really just go for it, because Tozer is quite well known for its really beautiful oasis. And then if you want to like experience the island or the Mediterranean Sea, then of course you can have a look. I mean, you can go to Jerba Island, because I've heard so many positive things about it as well. Yeah, and when you're in Tunis, don't ever skip places like Carthage or Sidi Bouzid, because they're beautiful and they look very similar to Santorini in Greece, but just with their own unique ways, you know?
Did you have a chance to visit Elgem?
Elgem, unfortunately, no, because I didn't have much time. Okay. Yeah, I think a lot of my time was pretty much spent on the road, you know, just crossing borders and crossing to different states.
Okay,
so,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, still, thanks a lot for answering all these questions. I think everyone listening to you must be now preparing for their trip to Tunisia like once the lockdown is over. Yeah, but I'm sure that some of the participants might have some more questions for you. So we will open up for questions. So guys, if you have any question for Sidra, please feel free to unmute yourself and ask Sidra directly.
Can I ask a very simple question? Right.
Sure.
What I heard is that, I mean, what I've seen of Tunisia are only beaches that have pristine water. Are there any overcrowded, overpopulated beaches out there, you know, that you'd rather avoid? And are there any other beaches that are more preferred over the ones that are seen in the photos?
Do you want to go to the overcrowded beaches, or do you want to go to the beaches where there are no people?
Well, let's get both of them so that we'll see what makes more sense, right?
Well, I guess if you like, if you are in Tunis, then you would expect the beaches to be crowded because Tunis is, obviously as the, what do you call it, the capital city, population would definitely be the highest in the country. So when you go to Carthage is still part of Tunis. And then like there are like houses and bungalows built like right in front of the beaches. So it's a bit difficult for you to like cross your way over there. Like the paths are narrow because it's mainly like, they're mostly private properties. But when you get on the train, or the metro to Sidi Bou Said, you'll go to the beach called Marsa Beach. That's beautiful, but you can expect it to be quite crowded as well, just because this is where all the locals from the neighborhood would go, after work hours to just relax and hang out. Other than that, I haven't been to Jerba, but I would love to. And just people say it's just really, really pristine. Water is like beautiful and all. Yeah, it's blue, crystal clear. And then, oh my gosh, I'm so bad with names. Gabis.
No problem.
Yeah.
You could also say south has, like crowded beaches, or north has more crowded. I mean, you could just split it up in southwest and east. South and west, I guess, right? There is nothing in the east or the south as far as beaches are concerned, right?
No, there is something in the east, but not in the south. It's east and north.
Okay.
Yeah, you won't find beaches on the west and on the south because it's all just
gonna be west and south. Sorry, my directions. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess the more crowded parts would definitely be in the north because that's where Tunis is located. If you want something more pristine, then you have to just travel a little bit to the south. Yeah, that's where you'll find Jerba and all the other islands and beaches.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so guys, actually we have to move to the next session, but what we can do is, Sidra, if you can share where you can be contacted, if you blog, or if, any link you would like to share and how people can get in touch with you, I think that would be fantastic. Sure.
I can write my Instagram name down there in the box. So if you guys feel like following, feel free to do so. I also have an Instagram page specially catered to my poetries and my travel stories. So you can follow that as well too.
Great. Awesome. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Sidra. So nice to see you after such a long time.
I know.
And thanks for sharing all these tips. Great. Awesome. Thank you, guys. So we will move to the next session for today, which is going to be hosted by Samia. And Samia will be talking about the Tunisian art. And we have Divya, who will be asking her some questions. So Samia, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, hi. I'm hearing
Hi,
you and I'm seeing you.
Oh, wow. Fantastic. Thanks for joining us.
You're welcome.
All right. And Divya, are you around?
Yes, Saurav, I'm here. Hi, Samia.
Hi.
Wow, you are in the cab.
Hi. Yes. I'm actually, I told you that I had lunch plans today. So I'm just getting back from my relations place right now.
Oh, wow.
But yes,
Great.
I won't miss this, Saurav. Don't worry.
All right. Over to you guys.
Yeah. Yes. So Samia, so the thing is, I saw a lot of pictures that Saurav had sent. He'd sent some wonderful pictures of different kinds of doors in Tunisia.
Yes, exactly. So
and,
the question of
So I want you to tell me a little bit more about that.
Yes, throughout the history of Tunisia, so doors played a very important role. So they were used as a protection of cities, for example, in time of wars and things like that. So they had big doors in order to protect the cities, and they are still present now. So they are part of the architecture of Tunisian cities now. So as an example,
wonderful. Okay.
Yes. So we can say that as an example, for example, the door in the city center of Tunis, and we call it Bebhar. And we have the same name that is also used for big doa, which is in Sfax in the south of Tunisia. We have almost in every city we have doors, so they are very, very big doors that are built in big stones. Okay, so and they are a symbol of our historical architecture. So as I said, they were used to protect the cities. We have other traditional doors which are more modern. So we are not talking about here the historical ones. So I think that you're talking about these. They are with a special decoration. So they are big doors.
Yeah.
And their colors differ from a place to another. So for example, you can have blue doors or white doors for regions that are near the sea, like Sidi Bou Said, Marsa, Carthage, and regions like these. And you have other colors, for example, green or yellow or brown. And these are for places like the Medina, for example, in Tunis. But it's the same case, not only for Tunis. Huh? You have this in other places, for example, not just in the city of Tunis. And these doors are made with special wood, So this wood comes from olive trees, for example, or from other trees from the region of Indraham, for example, the north. So this quality of wood is particular because it protects against the heat and the humidity and the moisture, So this is as far as the material used is concerned. Then the decoration you have in almost all the doors. So you have black studs that are surrounding the door. So that is for the decoration. And you have the door also knockers. So it's also a particularity of Tunisian doors. So you have 3 knock doors. And people used to know who is the visitor from the sounds of these door knockers. So you have, for example, the one which is on the top and the right side is for men. One is in the one which is on the left is for women, and you have a lower one which is on the level of children. So when they hear the sound that is different, each one has different sounds, so they know who is the visitor. If it's a woman, for example, the woman can open the door. If it's a child, the same, and if it's a man, it's of course the man on the house who is going to open the door. And you have also other decorations. For example, I've listened to a friend who is talking about the doors and the decorations. So she was talking about the cross, the stars, and the crescent. So it depends on the religious belonging, for example, of the one who prepares and who confectionates the door. So it can be a crescent or a star or any other thing. We have also other decorations that are a little bit more particular. For example, you can find decoration that is normally used for outfits, traditional outfits that women wear, and we can find it on the doors. And we can find also the khamsa that is in the form of a hand. And this one is used also with the horse's hoof, and it's used for superstition and curses, so things like that. So they used to decorate their doors with such gadgets in order to protect their houses from bad curses and things like that.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
So the thing is,
And
we see a lot of these. We see a lot of we see similar designs and similar colors in places like Rajasthan and India. So I mean, is there some connection, or is it just like coincidence that this happened?
I don't think that it's coincidence. Honestly, I'm sure that there is a link, maybe of something, maybe related to Islam or something. It cannot be just haphazard. It's something that is really, of course, connected.
Yes,
I'm sure that it has a connection.
Yes. Nice. That's great. So this is like the traditional side of things. What about like more modern and contemporary artwork in Tunisia?
Yes, so now today, of course, so these doors are still present, especially in the Medina and in Sidi Bou Said, because they are here trying to preserve this typical kind of doors. So they are trying to renovate them and make them always in a good state. But of course, for the new houses and the flats and things like that, they are using more European styles and things that are of course more modern. Okay, so we don't have it's really too much rare to have to see a house that is built now and is getting a traditional door like the ones which used to be in the Medina and in the places like that. Okay. Yes, we are more directed to the European style, to much modern, and of course, you know that here almost everyone is connected to social media. So they are in Instagram, they are on Facebook, they are following the trends. Okay, so they are opting for more trendy styles. Okay.
Guys, just a minute. Is it okay if I share pictures of the door? Because while you guys are talking about doors, some of the participants might not be aware of what doors you are talking about. Okay.
Oh yes, please do so, Saurabh. Yeah.
Okay, so let me just share it.
Is there like some color, some colors that are very prominent over there, which people use? Like, for example, like in Morocco and stuff, you have blues, right?
Yes.
So are there shades in Tunisia which are very?
Yes, even in Tunisia, you have in the village, for example, of Sidi Bou Said, it's always with blue or white. Okay, they cannot use any other color, so it's forbidden. Okay, it's something that is really specific. And I don't know if you know that Sidi Bou Said, it's a village that is protected. Yes, here they are the doors. Yes,
the doors.
As you see, the prominent colors are blue, white, green, and yellow. Okay, it's almost the colors. You will not find, for example, black doors or purple doors. Okay, so these are the most basic ones. Okay, so and as I said, because the village of Sidi Bou Said is protected by the UNESCO. Okay, so it's something that is they have to preserve the same colors. They don't have the right to change, for example, a door or a window into green or yellow. Okay, they have to preserve this kind of architecture and this type of colors.
Yeah, nice. That's great. I also wanted to know like a lot about maybe the musical side of things. Like how is music as an art form in Tunisia? How has it evolved over all these ages?
Yes, so here there is a big change before and after the revolution. So before the revolution, so it was music that was Oriental music or Occidental or things like that. So that things that all youngsters hear and listen to the radio, because we did not have a free access to internet before the revolution. So we were a little bit restricted on that side. But now people are they have more freedom to listen to whatever they want on the night and period. And even I cannot hear you well.
Listen for which thing?
I think someone else is asking a question.
Yeah, sorry, there was some noise.
Is someone else asking a question?
आपको कुछ नहीं बोला, पास सुन लो पहले मेरी उस लिंक को तो बता दूं.
Mute the person.
Yeah.
Sorry, there was someone. I just muted.
Okay.
Okay,
so
no
as
problem,
I said,
yes, please continue.
So just after the revolution, there was a new trend of music in Tunisia that we didn't used to hear too much before the revolution. That is rap. So Tunisian musicians, we have many Tunisian singers that are singing a new kind of music that is rap. So it's rap written with lyrics that are really close to the heart of these youngsters. They are expressing their feelings in these songs. Okay, they are talking about misery, for example, about injustice, about bad things that happen to them. So and of course the teenagers are very, very fond of this type of music, okay? So it was something that we didn't hear much about it in the past. Because as you know, in the past here, we used to have also a traditional type of music that was, we call it mezwid.
Okay.
So mezwid is something here, it's very, very traditional. And it's also popular. So, so almost all Tunisians love this type of music. Okay. Now the rap music, we can see that it replaced in somehow this type of music. Okay. But sometimes they also do a mix between Mezwood and rap. Okay. So it's really something that is very rich now, okay? Musically talking, it's and artistically talking, it's something that is very rich now in the music field, okay?
Nice, nice. So from what you're saying, it seems to be like a fusion of sorts now.
Exactly.
It's not like
yes.
restricted to one kind of right.
No.
Okay,
no,
okay.
no,
That's
exactly.
good.
Yes.
That's good to know. That's good to know. So,
yes.
So is the traditionalism kind of still retained? That's what I want to know. I mean, is there a certain, like in India, you can see that, you know, there are different kinds of music, but then the traditional art forms, the traditional Hindustani or Carnatic music that's there has been retained through all these centuries. So in Tunisia, is it the same? Is the traditionalism still retained, or has it just moved on to fusion right now?
No, we are still preserve them. Are you talking about this? Are they still present now, or are they prohibited?
Yes.
Still
exactly.
present? No, they are still present.
Yes.
They are still present.
Yeah.
All kinds of
Good.
music.
All right.
Even we have the malouf, that is a very, very old type of music, and it's still present now. And you have concerts of malouf in Tastour. We have a festival. Okay, so there is really yes, there is really an effort to preserve the traditional type of music. Okay, so we didn't lose any of these traditional types of music.
All right. That's great. And what about like coming back to the art side of it? Is there something like very popular in Tunisia? Like, for example, you have the Mona Lisa, right, which is very popular in Europe, right? Which is worldwide,
painting,
which is known worldwide. Yes, which has become internationally like acclaimed from Tunisia, that everyone knows about. Is there something like that?
I don't have an idea if there is a painting or something like this, but I know that we have a Tunisian painter who made something in the USA, I think. He was the one responsible for decorating a very famous place, okay? And he's a Tunisian one. I think that it's in Mahdewi or something like this. But here and also after the revolution, we have a new kind of art, which is the street art and graffitis.
Nice.
So yes, it's something that we didn't used to see before. So now you find in the main streets, so the walls are decorated with graffiti of teenagers where they are expressing their ideas, their revolutionary ideas. Okay. So we see that there is art in many of our streets. Okay, and it's sometimes a way to decorate and to make a place lively. Okay, so so they are using this type of street art now. Yes.
Nice. So you're saying that the street art was actually like a result of the whole revolution that actually happened?
Yes. So it was after the revolution. Since we had too much freedom, so it was really it had really an impact on everything. Okay, so it was a revolution in art, in music, in everything. Okay.
All right. That's really interesting. Is there anything else which is like quite similar to maybe what we have, what are present in other countries? Are there any like connections with the different kinds of art forms that you might find in another country? Any kind of relationship?
So like graffitis, for example, and street art is common to many countries. We have also in arts, we have the architecture. For example, we have many historical monuments. And I've heard that someone was talking about El Jam. So it's a Roman building. It's a theater. So and we have a similar one in Rome. And the one in Tunisia is, I think that it's the first one in Africa, which is which was preserved. Okay, so the state of this theater is well preserved. Okay, I think that it's even better than the one in Rome. Okay, we have also the mosaics. That is something which is part of our history, and we have very important collections of mosaics that are, some of them are in museums like in Bardo, and the others are in nature like this. So you can find them in historical sites, okay? So it's something that is really particular also about Tunisia.
Ah, nice, nice, nice. So all these mosaics are also very famous in Portugal.
Yes.
So
as I said,
it's interesting. It's interesting to see. Yeah.
Yes. So
it's interesting to see how it's so connected to different places. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, because you have really many civilizations have gone through Tunisia, and each one has we have the remainings of each one. So it's we are really historically rich. Okay, we have a rich heritage from these civilizations. Okay.
Interesting, interesting. Nice, nice, nice. And is there something which is there like a monument that is actually very well known? Like, for example, you know, in India we've got the Taj Mahal, we've got a couple of other monuments in the capital and all of that. So what is so famous in Tunisia which you should not miss?
Yes, here in Tunisia, in every city, almost every city has a special scenery, and you can do sightseeing in every city. Okay, so if you are going to start, of course, you'll start with the city center and go and visit the places in Tunis. Okay, as I said, the village of Sidi Bou Said, and Carthage, the ruins. You have the theater in Carthage also. So where they have concerts and festivals, and the theater is the place to go. You have the ruins also in the same place in Carthage. You have, for example, if you are in the same spirit of ruins and things like that, you can go to El Jam, you can go to Dugga, you can go to Tuburbo Majus. So these are places where you witness the historical heritage of the previous civilizations, especially the Roman one, okay? And and in other places, you have, as I said, in every city you have something to see. For example, if you go to the south, you have the desert, you have places, for example, waterfalls, okay? So you can see in Shbika and Tamarza the waterfalls. So naturally, you have really many places to visit, okay? As far as nature is concerned and the landscapes, okay? So you can find the sea, the mountains, the hills, the desert. So everything is available in such a tiny town, because we are not really a very big town. So in such a big small town, you can find all these landscapes, okay? So it's such a gift.
Yeah, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. I mean, I didn't expect that actually when you said Tunisia. I mean, of course, I mean, this is also like the first time I'm actually getting to know more about the place. So yes, it's great to know that it's so culturally rich, and it's really great to know that it has its own side of, like, you know, beauty and aesthetics and all of that, which would be a great experience for people if they visit the place.
Exactly. Yes, I do recommend to all to come and visit Tunisia. It's really something interesting, and they won't regret it. So it's really a very, very welcoming people, and a very rich country to discover. So it's really,
wonderful.
it would be good if you have the opportunity to come.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you so much for
You're
letting us
welcome.
know about all of this. Yeah, it was really like an enlightening experience. Thank you so much.
Yes, I was so happy to share this experience with you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, over to you, Saurav.
Yes,
Thank you
if
so
you
much,
have any other
guys.
questions.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Samia and Divya.
Yes.
Thanks for
Hey,
letting us
Saurav.
know
You're
about
welcome.
the art scene in Tunisia.
You're welcome.
Great. So we will now be discussing about the language. And
Yes.
for
So,
that,
Saurav, I have a question for Samia. Is that okay?
sure.
Yes,
Yeah, sure. You
yes.
can go on.
I'm ready
Hi.
for your questions.
Hi.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry. Samia, so one thing that I've understood, after reading a little bit of Tunisia is that there are multiple religions and multiple languages, right? How open is...
No, not multiple languages. In fact, we don't have multiple languages.
You have
almost,
French, you have Berber, you have...
Yes, but here the official language is Arabic. So we all speak Arabic. We don't have other languages. Maybe in very remote places, they still speak the Amazigh, that is it clear? Are you hearing me?
Yeah. Right,
yes.
sorry.
Okay, as I said, so we all talk Arabic. We don't have any other language. Maybe, as I said, in some remote places, they still talk Amazigh, and because they are near Algeria, in that place. And the majority, so almost everyone speaks Arabic, okay? For a language, French is the language. So we learn it at school from the third year or the first year, depending on the school. So it's a language. And of course, English is a foreign language that we learn. It used to be in high school. Now it's in primary school. But as far as languages are concerned, it's only one language. Yes?
So there are no multiple religions. I just wanted to know about how intercaste marriages work there, or relationships, forget marriages.
Yes, so for religion, yes, the predominant, yes. So the main religion is Islam, okay? So let's say 90% or 80% of Tunisians are Muslims. But we have minorities, of course. They are Christian, there are Jewish, okay? And thank God, we don't have problems between the religions, okay? They are all considered as Tunisians. So we don't have this type of conflicts or religious conflicts, okay? When you talk to someone, you don't ask him whether he's a Christian or Jewish, or whether he's a Tunisian, French, or we don't care about the religion, okay? So you don't have this type of conflicts, especially religious conflicts, okay?
Okay.
But you may find, of course, people from other religions.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah, over to you, Saurav.
All right. Okay. All right. So next we're going to be discussing about the language, and for that we have Nasreen. Nasreen, are you around? Can you hear me? Not sure about that. She was there, but then I don't see her right now. Looks like maybe she is not around. But what we can do is we can shift the food session. Okay, we can talk now about the food, and later on about the language. So
okay, so you will talk to Mahdi, to Mr. Mahdi.
Yes.
I leave the floor for Mahdi.
All right. I hope the food is still hot.
Always hot.
Yeah. Nice. So first of all, Mahdi, thank you so much for bringing all this street food to the table for us. Thank you so much. Great, amazing. So are these food you prepared in your kitchen, or you got it from the street?
No, we got it from the street.
Oh,
we
nice.
went to the restaurant and we bought some.
Wow. And how many different types of food are there on the table?
Okay, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plates, 8 different foods. We have kaskrut leblebi. It's like typical kaskrut with it's sandwich with cooked chickpeas, tuna, harissa, eggs, olive oil, cumin, olives, We also have mlewi, which is a Tunisian wrap. It's a homemade bread. I think it's like pita or something. Okay. We eat it probably with everything, like slata mashwiya, which is the grilled salad. We have here the wrap mlewi with salad, harissa, of course, slata mashwiya, tuna, eggs. It's a common food, it's a common dish here in Tunisia. We also have tuna sandwich, typical sandwich with salads, harissa, tuna, and the same, like the basic, are the same bases and all. Also, we have Cafeteria Sandwich, which is a very popular Tunisian street food. It's fried eggs, pepper, tomatoes, with olive oil, and French fries, onions, and some like spices. We also, and for the last sandwich, we have chapati. It's a special bread, like mlewi. It's another one, and we made like the same base: harissa, salads, different kinds of salads, omelette, of course. Always in chapati. Besides that, we have
just a minute, sorry, here I have to make a comment here. So in India also we call bread as chapati. So we make bread at home and we call it chapati.
Yes.
So how is the chapati bread different from the other breads that you showed? What is the difference in the texture or the form?
Okay, it's not that different actually. The casse-croûte sandwich, other sandwich, are baguette, French bread. It's common here in Tunisia to eat it. For the chapati, it's more like traditional street food actually. It's more homemade. We don't like. Yes. And like, I don't know if it's the same as your chapati, but the texture is different. I mean, like, you know.
Is it round and more flat?
Yes, and it's more like easy to eat.
Okay.
Like.
Yes, can I intervene here?
Yes, of course.
Okay, yes, here the chapati, it's a flight and flat bread, okay? So it's not something, it's something very light. It's made of semolina and flour, olive oil and salt, and it's something that we eat. We make sandwiches with it, okay? So I don't know the chapati in India, but I think they may be similar, okay?
Okay.
But the specificity is that it's very light, okay? The specificity that it's a very light bread, and it's not like the baguette, the regular one that we eat every day, okay? So it's something that is, and it's very popular here. The price is not very expensive, so it's something that is very popular.
Okay, if you guys are interested in seeing the Indian chapati, I can just go to my kitchen and bring one for you.
Yes, that would be great.
Yes.
Just a minute. Okay, quickly.
What's the flour it made from?
Okay.
So you said chapati in Tunisia is made by semolina,
yes,
right?
Semolina and flour.
So I will show you chapati made up of two different kind of flour. Okay, yes. This is little darker. Can you see this?
Yes, it's not clear.
Yeah, let me disable my background. I think because my background.
Yes, it's about exactly. It's because of the background.
Yeah, I'll just remove the background. Okay, now is it better?
Yes.
So this is Raagi Roti. This is made up of a millet called Raagi, and this is wheat flour. So this is made up of wheat.
Okay.
And you can see this is very, very thin and homemade, round. So this is what this is what we eat almost every day for dinner.
Okay, yes. It's not the same thing. They have the same shape, but it's not the same thing.
Yeah.
رقاق.
Yes, we have a similar another bread which is similar to that one, but we have more oil on it. That's called rogeg, okay? But this type, but this type of bread, we don't have it traditionally.
Okay. Interesting. Can you just pick that chapati and just lift it up if it's possible? Okay, so there is something in between. Okay, all right.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Nice.
I think sort of parathas. We have something called parathas where we do filling of something a little more thicker than chapatis. It looks a little similar.
Right. Yes, paratha looks very similar. Nice. So yeah, we saw I think 4 or 5 street food. What about the rest? We want to see it all.
Well, we have Santosi, Tunisian plate, if we can put it.
Okay.
نفس السامية اللي زي سامية.
Yes, so that's the Tunisian plate. Yes, we call it Santosi, and literally the translation literally is Tunisian plate. So it's a very cheap and easy to do meal, and that is typical to Tunisia because we have many meals that are common to the region of the Maghreb and the North Africa. So this one is typically Tunisian one. So you have potatoes, they are boiled in salted water. Then they are diced into cubes. You add slices of tomatoes, and you can add onion if you want, cucumber, olive oil, drizzle of olive oil, salt, pepper, and boiled egg, for example, and tuna, of course, because we always use it for to garnish the dishes. Okay, you can add also some olives. Okay, but the basis is boiled potatoes, and of course the pepper. Yes, the pepper, cayenne pepper. That's too hot, and I think that Indians would appreciate this type of pepper. So it's too hot. Wow. And so that's the basic components of this plate.
Nice. يقولوا لنا مركز على السلطة الخضراء والعظمة المروبة، العظمة تكتي في الماء.
Yes, so he's talking about the egg. Yes, the egg. So most of the time we add boiled egg, but here it's semi-cooked. Okay, it's poached, and it's not too much cooked. Okay. So that is the particularity of this dish.
العكس نتاع الكافتيجي سامية، هذا مقلي الآخر.
Yes, it's the opposite of the kafteji. The kafteji here, they are fried vegetables. So you have pepper, tomatoes, and zucchini and pumpkin. So they are all fried. Then they are cut with a big knife. And of course, they are seasoned and the drizzle of oil by the end, okay? And even the eggs are fried, okay? So you have nearly the same components, but one is used with fresh vegetables and the other one with fried ones.
Interesting. And all these street food are something you can eat any time of the day, or is it like just the dinner food or the lunch food or breakfast food?
No, you can have them at any time of the day, but most of the time it's in lunch. You cannot have this for breakfast, for example.
Okay, so what's the most common breakfast in Tunisia?
Breakfast, so most of people have a cafe. They have a coffee, milk. Some people have tea. And most of the time it's bread or almost things like that, okay? And traditionally we have the rogeg. the olive oil, the honey, the jam. Okay, so that's for
الفطاير يا
rich
سامية.
breakfast. فطاير,
سامية
yes. So
إيه،
these,
فطاير.
yes, the ftair is also a traditional dish here in Tunisia. So they are like donuts, but they are bigger and they are fried. Okay, we eat them with sugar or with honey. Okay, so we also take them as a breakfast.
والدراع يا سامية.
Yes,
صح
dra or the dra or the sorgo. So it's a kind of flour, specific flour that is gray. The color is gray, and we cook it with water, and we add almonds, for example, or hazelnuts to decorate it. And we okay, so it's something that is sweet, and we eat it also in the morning. And that is also, I think that it's typically Tunisian.
Oh, nice.
بامبالوني سيدي بوسعيد.
Yes. Huh?
بامبالوني سيدي بوسعيد.
Yes, Bambaloni Sidi Boussaid. Yes, Bambaloni is similar to the ftira, but a smaller one. Okay, and we eat it with sugar, and it's especially sold in Sidi Boussaid. Okay, it's the particularity of the village of Sidi Boussaid. You can have it when you go there.
كل مدينة عندها الخصوصية نتاعها.
Yes. So he said that every city has its specificity, food specificity. Okay. From the north to the south, you will find different specificities and food kinds, okay? That you, for example, you will not find in the north or you will not find in the south, okay? Depends on the city.
Okay. So there, I saw Tunisian food, which was like a big, it's like a wrap and there was something inside. It's very popular street food. What is that?
That's the mlewi. We call them the mlewi.
Mlewi. Do we have
mlewi? Yes, mlewi. وريه المليوي خليك حاب يشوف المليوي.
Okay. And so what is filled inside?
So here, if you are talking about the dough, so the dough is made with semolina and flour as usual. And they are here, it's a kind of bread with many layers, okay? It's very, very thin. It's made with flour, semolina, salt, water, and olive oil as usual. And they are made in layers and very thin. Then you wrap them, you put them, for example, salata mashwiya, that is grilled vegetables. They are grilled, peeled, then mixed. And it's also a typical dish in Tunisia. So you can put in these mlewi whatever you want. Egg, tuna, salata mashwiya, harissa, of course. You can add the cheese, okay? And it's a very popular also street food because it's not expensive, okay? So everyone can have it. And it's really very popular.
Okay, okay, nice. Okay, so just to get an idea about the price for these street food, can you share with us like how much it is priced, each of these?
Yes, so it depends on the ingredients. For example, for a mlewi, it can go from 1 dinar and a half or 2 dinars. So it's not too much expensive, okay?
So 1 dinar is how much dollar?
Yes, for example, 3 dinars, it's $1.
Okay.
صحيح هكا مش غلطة؟
أقل شوي 800.
أقل شوي. Okay, so less than 1 dinar.
With less than $1. Okay, 3 dinar is $1.
Yeah, less than $1.
Okay, okay.
Yes. So it's not
very
expensive,
cheap?
as you see. Yes, very cheap. The street food is very cheap in Tunisia, and the purpose is that everyone can have it for cheap food.
Okay, okay. And is that so? You eat harissa with most of these food? Like you add harissa to everything?
Almost everything.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Street food, a restaurant, or homemade food. We always use the harissa. That is
okay, so
very hot.
So one is harissa, and what's the other one? Both are harissa?
Both are harissa.
Okay.
Both are harissa, yes.
It's different, but the package is different. That's
yes.
This is homemade.
Oh.
Yes, so you have the manufactured and the homemade. So the one you see packaged are the manufactured, and the other one is homemade. Okay.
Okay. So
and
usually
they don't have the same flavor. They are not
Okay.
quite similar.
Okay, but like people prefer to make it at home or they buy it from the market? How is that like?
It depends.
Okay.
Some people prepare it, some others still prepare it at home. Some others prefer to buy it because both are sold in the supermarkets. You can find the manufactured and the homemade harissa also.
So I saw the recipe online and it looks like very simple. It's like a red chili which is soaked in water and dried, and along with that there is garlic, right? So
yes,
it's
exactly.
very simple, but
very simple to do.
So what make a harissa different from the other? Like what is the secret ingredient? How it differs?
Maybe the preparation of the peppers, because you have to choose the peppers. It must be good quality peppers, and you have such different kinds of peppers, so you have to choose the pepper and the way you prepare it. Okay, so it must be dried, quite dried in the sun, not in an oven, for example. And of course, the fact of adding garlic and olive oil and salt, depending on everyone how he prepares it. So that's why you have different flavors of harissa.
Okay, okay. So is it like in Tunisia, people usually prefer to eat food like a street food, or they go to a restaurant, like a dine-in restaurant where they sit down and eat? How is it? What's more popular?
In fact, it's related to their financial situation. If it's for a poor person, someone who doesn't have a quite important salary, so of course he would not go to a restaurant and buy a meal in a restaurant. He would choose street food. Okay, and it's also related to the type of food they want to eat. For example, you cannot eat ajja, that is a very traditional and popular dish in Tunisia. If you're going to eat it, you will eat it of course in a street food restaurant. You will not go to a famous restaurant to have ajja. Okay, so depending on the food you want to eat, you have many other also street foods that you cannot find in a restaurant. You have, for example, like the mlewi and the chapati. So here we cannot find them in restaurants. You will just find them in street food. Okay.
Okay, so I see that the chili you guys use are like they're quite big. Is it normal in Tunisia? Like you have like big and hot chilies?
The chilies?
Yeah.
Yes, you have different types of chilies, and almost all of them are hot, apart from the bell peppers. The other types are almost hot. Okay, we like hot peppers. So we have different kinds of peppers, from the Oppenheim to the cayenne pepper. Yes, that's one. So we have different types of peppers.
Okay, so of all the which food you think is the most popular in Tunisia of all that's there?
I would say the mlewi. I don't know if you agree with me. The mlewi, I think that is the most popular one. Yes.
Okay, and is that very specific to Tunisia, or is it something you can also find in other Maghreb countries?
I don't think so. I think that it's really typical to Tunisia. I don't know about Morocco and Algeria, but I think that it's something that is really typical to Tunisia. فماش ملاوي في المغرب فما ملاوي
لا 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 الملاوي كان في تونس فقط.
في تونس they have something that is similar.
It's similar.
They call it بنسمم, similar but not the same, and then don't eat it the same way.
عندهم أسامي أخرى بالنسبة لنا.
مسمم يسميوه, not the same one.
Excuse me, just wanted to ask you one question. Out of all these dishes, which is the healthier one? Which is more healthy?
Yes, so they are healthy because they are based on vegetables. They are healthy, but of course, if they are fried, so they are not too much healthier. But if they are grilled, like the slata mshwiya, it's okay, or the harissa, it's okay. But most of the time they are based on vegetables, since they are cheap, so they have to be based on the vegetables and sometimes on chicken or tuna that is not too much expensive. Okay. You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sorry, over to you.
Okay, yeah, guys. So if any of you have any questions about the food you see there, please feel free to ask. I wish we could try these foods. It's a bit of it's sad that we can just see it, but we can't try.
Yeah, I advise you to try it. It's yummy. It's really yummy. It's very tasty,
very
spicy.
tempting.
Yes, I'm sure that Indians would like to eat Tunisian food because it's really. I think that they have similarities, but we use many spices and spicy food, so we have maybe similarities.
I knew it.
Yeah.
But one thing I think is, even if you give out the recipes, you will not be able to cook it here because you don't have all the ingredients.
But I don't know, some of them are based on vegetables, so of course you will find them in India. Maybe the spices. You have the curry that we don't use, but the rest of the spices, I think that you have them. Caraway, for example, and cumin and things like that.
Right.
Coriander.
Yeah, no, I see that.
I have pizza over here in Singapore.
Oh. You are saying something, Raiba?
Excuse me, Mr. Semia. Est-ce que vous pouvez l'en parler de التجارة اللي وقعت بين الدول العربية شمال أفريقيا الخليج مع الهند في بداية الحضارة الإسلامية، خاصة تجارة التوابل اللي هي وصلت تونس إلى على شيء نفس السيميلر، على الأساس أنه التجارة البينية اللي وقعت بيناتهم هي اللي خلت أنه تلقى حويجات مثلا كالرقاق اللي قال عليه قبيله، وعندنا الزلابية، حتى الزلابية اللي عندهم هم عندنا احنا سي الميم. هذه نتيجة التجارة اللي وقعت بيناتنا في بداية الحضارة الإسلامية والتجارة البينية اللي بيناتنا. Merci. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, you're welcome. Yes, he's talking about the similarities between the two civilizations and between, as far as food is concerned. He's saying that we may have the same heritage as in the past. There used to be a trade between the Gulf countries and the Middle East countries and India. And we used to call it the Silk Route, okay, the Silk Road. So they used to exchange silk and also spices. So he's saying that maybe because of this, that we have similar food and eating habits, okay, spices and bread, for example, and things like that. He relates this to the historical background.
Yes, definitely, no question about that. See, I have been interested in studying about the food as well, and what I noticed is that when it comes to spice trade, you can see actually you can also track how when you go from south part of India to north part of India, and how from north when you go toward the westward, the number of spices it reduces because most of the spice comes from south. Okay, so as you go from south part of India to north, and then if you go to Pakistan, and then if you go to Iran, and then by the time you reach Greece, let's say, which is Mediterranean, then you hardly see any spice. You know, so it's definitely related, and because of the trade we do see similarities. Lots of things are intermixed.
Yes.
So some of you were asking question. Yes, so please
excuse me, I want to ask a question. May I?
Yes, of course.
We have seen many spicy food, but I want to know which is a popular sweet dish.
The popular
sweet dish of Tunisia.
Sweet
dish.
Yes, we talked about the bambaloni. Yes, the bambaloni, that is the one similar to the donut, that is fried and a little bit bigger than the donut. And we have many other plates, dishes, like, for example, maqroud. That is something made of semolina and oil. It's filled with dates. So it's specific to the region of Qarwen. As I said, every city has a specificity and has a particular food habits, okay? So whether in sweet or in normal food, okay? So we have also the harissa. Yes, garnagzel, that is another sweet dish in the south of Tunisia. It's made of almonds and things like that. And of course, the dough is always the same. It's made of semolina and flour. And they add sugar and water, and they fill it with almonds and hazelnuts and such type of, yes.
Okay.
Ma'am?
Yes?
What is a famous dish by cheese?
By cheese?
Yeah.
Things made with cheese?
Yeah.
Cheese.
Maqloob, pizza.
Yes, that's sandwich. Yes, we put almost cheese in everything. We cook cheese with everything. We put it with pizza, with sandwiches, with pasta. So we use cheese with almost every fast food, and even in homemade food we use cheese.
Can you tell the famous dessert of Tunisia?
It's not very clear. Can you repeat, please?
A famous dessert.
Desert, yes. We were talking about sweet food. We were talking about the bambaloni, the garnagzel, the maqroud, and many other traditional desserts. Zlebia al-Kharaq, yes, so famous for in the north of Tunisia in Beja.
What is the spiciest food?
The spiciest food? All of them are spicy. Okay, almost all the food is spicy. But maybe the lablebi is something that is very special. It's something that is also typical to Tunisia. And
wait, but lablebi is spicy or is it sweet?
No, it's spicy. It's too much spicy. You have it's yes, here we can make a sandwich with the lablebi, but originally it's a plate, it's a dish, it's boiled chickpeas, and you put them in a bowl with the cooking water. They are soaked and boiled chickpeas. You put them in a bowl, and you add different toppings. Okay, so you can add salt, pepper, of course, cumin, that is particular. You add a drizzle of olive oil, and a poached egg also. Poached, which is not hard egg. It's poached and semi-cooked egg. And of course you can garnish with you add the harissa, of course, as usual, always present in our dishes. So the harissa, and you garnish with the tuna, the olives, and capers, for example, whatever you like. Okay, but the basis is boiled chickpeas. That's the lablebi. Yes, and here in the region of Bizerta, they have a specificity that is the sandwich lablebi, okay? So they, of course, they don't put the water, the boiling water. They just use the soaked and boiled chickpeas, and they put with it harissa and slata mashwiya sometimes, and tuna and eggs, okay? So, but the basis is soaked and boiled chickpeas.
Okay, so I read on Google that pork and alcohol is prohibited in Tunisia. So is it still, even today, is it still prohibited?
No, it was never prohibited, and it's not prohibited even today.
Oh,
so
okay. That's what I read on Google, sorry.
No, no. So we are a Muslim country, that's true, but these are not prohibited in Tunisia.
Oh,
but
okay.
The difference is, for example, for pork, you cannot find it everywhere. In fast food restaurants, for example, you cannot find it. In street food, you cannot find it. So you may find it in some supermarkets and in some hotels, okay, touristic hotels. So you may find pork, but it's not really part of our eating habits. So alcohol, it's not prohibited. Only if you drink it in the street, for example, or in your car, you are not allowed to do it, and you can be arrested. But you can have alcohol in a restaurant, in a bar, for example, in a pub, in hotels, okay? But you cannot have it, for example, in street food restaurants and in cafes or okay, so you may have them, but we have some restrictions, especially in holy periods. For example, in the religious month of Ramadan, you cannot buy it. It's forbidden. You cannot, even in supermarkets, you will not find alcoholic drinks. And on Fridays, you will not also find it.
That's great. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Just to understand, which alcoholic drink is is more famous there? What kind of
Honestly, I'm not an alcoholic drinks fan, so I don't know the names. I don't know. I don't know, but I think that there are beer. I see it, beer, and the others. I don't know, wine. Some kinds of wine, but
so no local liquor. These are all typically something that's brought from outside.
No, I know that there is a local wine, but I don't know the name, okay? But they produce here. They have a local, yes, so Morneg, that's a label for local wine. And even beers, we have here a factory that is producing such kind of beers, okay? But the names, I don't know.
Thank you.
Morneg.
Welcome. Hey, c'est bon,
okay.
Ma'am?
Yes?
You say you, most of all dish, you mix cheese on it. So in Indian dish, there is not cheese. So when you are making cheese, so you mix cheese or not?
When do we use cheese, you mean?
Means in Indian dish, you mix it, you mix cheese or not on it?
Yes, we mix cheese. We mix cheese. For example, when we use scrambled eggs, we can add cheese. When we cook the tagine, for example, that is a traditional meal in Tunisia also. So we use scrambled eggs and basil and meat or chicken. So we use cheese. So we mix it or we garnish with it like the pizza and things like this in a sandwich, okay? We use it both, mixed and used to garnish.
Okay, I think Samia, her question was about in the Indian restaurants there in Tunisia. Yes. If they're making Indian food, do they mix cheese in that or not?
I don't know. Certainly, I didn't go to an Indian, unfortunately, to an Indian restaurant. But I know that there are Indian restaurants. But sorry, I don't know if what type of food they offer. I'm really sorry about it.
It's very difficult to get an authentic food when you are not in your own country, because they always add some local influence into that.
Yes, ingredients, yes.
يا سامية قل له أنا مشيت للسعودية وجربت الأكلة الهندية الخبز نتاعهم في الوقت يطيبوه معناها في اون برينسيپ الراجل تلقيه قاعد فوق الجوجه هكا ويطيب في الخبز وميم طون والمرقه ما يعملوش فيها ماهيش حمراء ماهيش فيها طماطم ما يعملوش فيها طماطم ما يستعملوش
لا
الطماطم.
هو يحكي على جبن. لا قالت لي هي تحب تسال كي فما ريستوران انديان في تونس اسكو يطيبوا ماكله انديان هكا هو الا يزيدوا فيها دي انغريديون تاع تونس فهمت يخلطوا مثلا بالجبن ولا يحطوا حاجه نتاعنا احنا فهمت دونك هذاك علاش هو يسال.
في لي ريستورون تاع تونس يستعملوا الخبز الهندي فقط نسيت واش يسموه
في الهند في لي ريستورون انديان هذوك ما نعرفش شنو ماكلتهم اللي يعملوها مامت.
اي ثم الخبز فقط اما دي ريستورون انديان ما شفتش.
فما في اللاك واحد ما مشيتلوش الحقيقه ما نعرفش شنو يقدموا معناتها.
ترجم لا يقول لك ايش بيقول.
Yes, so he thought that we were talking about the Indian food, okay? So he was saying that he went once to a restaurant, Indian restaurant, and in Saudi Arabia, and they were preparing bread.
سامي خرب يقص على الضوء. كمل ريش. كمل ريش.
Yes, we were cut, I think. Yes.
Okay.
So he said that they were preparing a special bread, and that was an Indian food that he tasted, that he has already tasted.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting. So is
You
that
feel good?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that there is a lot of French influence in the Tunisian food? For example, baguette is definitely one influence, but
Yes.
other than baguette, are there any other dish which is influenced by French food?
Yes, we have very important influence of Jewish and French food also. So we have many of the dishes, traditional dishes that we have their origin from Jewish traditions. And we have, of course, from Italy and from France, okay? So that's really a melting pot here, culinary melting pot. So we have different influences on our food. So French, Italian for the pizza and the different types of cheese. And for example, the sauces and the stews, we have many Jewish origin for these dishes, okay? And French, of course, for the croissant and the crepe. And so we have many varieties of food and many influences of other countries on our food habits and eating habits.
So, ma'am, as you said that mostly all the foods are spicy, then is
Yes.
there any sweet food? Is there any sweet food?
Yes, of course, we have sweet food. We have desserts and sweet food, yes.
Now, also in normal food that you eat, are there is spice always there? Like the food is normally always spicy, or you can also find lablabi, which is not spicy. Is it common?
Of course, yes, you can. So most of Tunisians like hot food and spicy food, but you may find someone who doesn't like harissa, for example. It may happen. And if you are eating in a restaurant or in a street food restaurant, so you may ask him not to put the harissa, for example. Or and we have some regions in Tunisia, like Nebel, for example, they like too much hot and spicy food. So it's different from Tunis, for example. It's not the same level and grade of spices and of hot pepper put in the food. Okay.
Okay. So sorry.
Excuse me. سامية طعمزية بالنسبة للمهرجانات اللي تقوموا يعملوها في تونس الخاصة بالماكلة، البسيسة والخبز والكسكسي إلى غير ذلك، وخاصة المهرجان اللي تعمل في نابل بخصوص الهريسة سبايسي، المهرجان تاع الهريسة.
Yes, he's talking about festivals. We have many food festivals, especially for spicy food and for the harissa, as he said, in Nebel. So we have festivals that are celebrating our food, and most of them present spicy food, okay? And particular traditional, typically Tunisian meals, like the psisa, as he said, that is like wheat, and it's something that is really particular. And the koski, of course, so the koski is the most common dish in Tunisia, even if it's not typically Tunisian. We share it with our neighbors, Algeria and Morocco and Libya. So we have different preparations of the koski, but in Tunisia, it's really the common meal, okay? They almost eat it weekly. So we have every week we have to prepare a koski. We are accustomed to cook it on Sundays. So, and we have it's really the meal that can be cooked with everything. You can cook it with vegetables only. You can cook it with lamb meat, beef meat, fish, octopus, squids, asben. That is the particularity of Tunisia. So here the asben is lamb tribes, which are filled with vegetables, a mix of vegetables, and offal. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but it's really strange, but it's something typical for Tunisia. Are you getting what I'm saying about this?
The last part you said that I'm not sure what exactly it is. Like.
Yes. So the husband, it's something that we cook with a couscous, and that is typically Tunisian. So it's the tribes of the lamb tribes, and we fill them with vegetables, crushed vegetables, and offal. Okay, you have the liver, the heart, and the things like that of the sheep, and we cook it with the couscous. That is, and it's very spicy also. We use the harissa in it, paprika, and many spices.
Okay, interesting. It's difficult to imagine the taste. I mean, we'll have
to. Yes, but if you taste it, you will not regret it.
Sure.
So, what is the most famous cold drink?
Which the most famous?
Cold drink. Cold drink.
Cold drink.
I can get what you are saying.
Cold and drink. Juice, we can say.
Cold drink.
Orange. Jus d'orange, citronnade, سامية. Juice.
We have many types of juice, like and Coke, Pepsi, a lot. Like the typical cold drinks in the whole world. Like nothing specific.
Okay. I see. Okay. But what's the most common? Like usually, what do you guys drink along with the food?
Mostly Coke, Coca-Cola, mostly like that. I like maybe there is like older people now like with couscous to drink laban, which is milk, cow milk. That's it. Like we don't have a specific drink with.
So laban is cow milk with something else, or just plain cow milk?
Plain cow milk.
Wow, just
with
plain
couscous,
cow milk.
mostly
with couscous.
Yes.
By the way, just to know, which fruit is most popular there, or what fruits are most popular there, out of which you can make juices or fruit salads or whatever it is? Which fruits are most popular?
Sorry, I didn't hear you. Fruit.
I said, which fruits are more popular there? Which you make juices out of, or you make, jams out of, or pickles out of, whatever.
Yes, orange, lemon, figs also. Yes, that's it.
So what is the national fruit there?
National fruit. We don't have exactly national fruit, but like apple, maybe grapes. Like we don't exactly have national fruit or something like that.
So basically we get whatever we get in India, right?
Yes, probably.
Great.
But are there any fruits which you guys don't get it over there and you have to import?
Yes. Banana, pineapple, ananas, mangoes. We don't mostly have avocados here. Yes, that's it, probably.
Okay.
Ananas means that pineapple, na?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So we heard that harissa is very, very spicy, but we haven't tested it, so we don't know how spicy it is. Is it fine for you to just taste the harissa for us so that we get the idea of how spicy it is?
We don't eat harissa like alone. Like you need to eat it with something.
Yeah, so
I'll try to find it over here.
Huh? Wait a minute, please.
So, what should I say?
Okay.
The smell is so strong, like the spices and all.
Okay, but it looks like Mr. Mehdi is used to
This
having
is
harissa.
it's very spicy.
Okay.
Like the look looks like tomato paste, if you can see.
Right.
Yeah. So it can be used in sandwiches and like that thing.
Yes, we use it in sandwiches most of the time.
What dish you make in Christmas?
What?
What dish you make during Christmas time, or is there any Christmas
No, we
celebration?
don't celebrate Christmas. But like the New Year, we celebrated like most of like the world with turkey, some pasta, and something like that. But we don't have like we don't celebrate it. Christmas, we don't have Christmas. We are a Muslim country, so it's not that we celebrate it. You see, like when you go out, yes.
So what is the rarest food that is there, and it is rarest, and it is so delicious.
Sorry, I didn't hear. Can you play? Can you repeat, please?
It is there any rarest food that is delicious? So
I
much.
think he's trying to say, like, is there some rare food and it's also yummy in taste?
All the food here are tasty. Like you can't choose.
Yeah, any
I
special
just wanna
food which you
try.
make in certain occasion only, which you normally don't eat, but in certain occasion you make that special food, or any special dish which is associated with certain occasion.
Yes, we can say mlokhaya. Mlokhaya, we mostly cook it for the Arabic New Year, the Hijri New Year. It's like a plant. It's like a black sauce made with from a plant. It's not the similar like the Egyptian mlokhaya, because the plant is dried. We reduce it to green powder, then cook it with oil, garlic, spices, mostly with beef or lamb, on low heat for 8 hours. We'll let it cook for 8 hours or even longer, and we mostly cook it in the New Year, in the Arabic New Year.
Okay.
Yes.
In festival, what is most popular food?
Couscous.
Couscous.
Couscous. Most festival. There is even a festival. We call it Mayo Festival in Kef. It's about burzgen, which is couscous with nuts, dates, beef also. It's like a mix of sweetness of the dates and the saltiness of the beef. We call it burzgen.
So is there any national food?
National food. Like I told you, it's always about couscous. Like in North Africa, Tunisia, Algeria, Morocco, Libya, it's all about couscous. It's not the same recipe from country to country. It changed, but couscous is the most known plate.
Also, you have shakshuka as a traditional Tunisian dish, a very easy to cook meal. It doesn't need many ingredients, and it's fast and filling. You just need potatoes, onion, peppers, tomatoes, spicy, salt, pepper, and olive oil. And if you like hot food, you can add harissa, Tunisian hot sauce. When the stew is ready, you can poach some Monty's eggs. It's optional.
All right, so like, if you'd have to recommend the Indians if you like to recommend as Indians some Tunisian food, so what would you recommend as like the most?
Okay, if you came to Tunisia, if you want something that's delicious and not expensive, you will immediately go to street food. Like you will immediately vote like mlewi. If you came to Tunisia, I will recommend mlewi 100%, or kafteji. And like, yes.
Like this.
So on religious occasions, what sweet dish people mostly prefer?
What's name? What? What?
On religious occasions, what sweet dish people would like to prefer mostly?
Sweet dishes and religious. We have mkharaq and zlebia. Mkharaq, which is similar to the donuts, but it's more sweet. And for the zlebia, I think you have it also in India. I don't know exactly the name.
In Pakistan, okay, also. I see a YouTube video that's you have the zlebia in India. You made it.
So maybe we know that by a different name.
Yes.
By
It can be.
another name, yes.
Okay. We will check that. We will check that. By the way, guys, after seeing so much of food, I could not stop myself. So I had to bring my dinner, and I would like to show you guys Indian vegetable. I'm not sure if you guys know of this.
Which vegetable is this, sir?
Can you guess?
I think it's ladyfingers.
No, that's wrong.
Like
Look closely.
I mean, I've eaten
Karela.
literally
Right.
Bitter gourd.
It's a bitter gourd.
I like that.
So the name is bitter gourd because it's very bitter. It's very bitter. So this is very bitter vegetable, but it's very, very healthy.
How made it? How made it? How is it made?
How is it made? So it's like it's a green vegetable. You cut it and then you cook it along with the oil and some spices. Very, very simple to make. And this is like a very common dinner for us to have chapati and a green vegetable or any vegetable and chapati. That's it. Yeah. So, and what you do is like you take a part of chapati. Okay.
Right.
So we mostly eat with hands. We take a part of chapati and we take a little bit of vegetable like this. Okay. Yes. And then we eat it. So that was a quick Indian immersion for you guys.
Like that.
It is the Indian way to eat.
Hashtag Desi tutorial.
Okay, so one more interesting thing is in South India, the most common most common thing is rice. So we eat a lot of rice here. When it comes to when you go towards west and north, it's more what we call a chapati or roti, or even parathas, that matter. So
Paratha
rice is a staple food.
Paratha in Punjab, very much.
Yes, so in Tunisia we eat rice, but it's not really an eating habit here. I think that the equivalent of rice in Tunisia is the couscous.
Is what?
The couscous. The couscous, they are grains, yes, grains that are made of semolina, and they are put in sieves and drained then to have a circular, they are like a small, very, very, very tiny small balls. And when we prepare them, so it's a particular way to prepare them. They are steamed, then we mix them with the sauce, okay? So,
Okay.
but this is a really common dish in Tunisia.
So interestingly, when we're talking about semolina, there is something called dalia here, which is broken wheat. So typically the wheat, instead of having it full, it is broken. It is not powdered, but it is broken.
Yes, broken, yes.
And that is cooked. And that is had as a healthy alternative to rice.
Yes, we have something similar.
Kind.
Yes, we have something similar to this, which is called the burghul. Burghul, it's something like this. It's also, it's wheat, or they are grains, and they are not in powder. They are broken, like as you said, and we cook them whether in the oven, or so we cook them like the couscous, and we can even use it in the salads. They are also used in the salads, yes. So we boil them, then we use them in a salad. So it's very healthy.
By the way, do you use the utensil called pressure cooker?
Yes,
do you
we use
it. Pressure cookers? Okay.
Yes, of course. Today we are obliged to use it. We don't have time, so we have to use it.
So there are also rices eaten. So have you ever heard about rajma rice, or is there something like there also?
Like something like what?
Rajma rice.
Rajma rice.
What is this?
Rajma rice is typically it's a pulse. Rajma is a pulse that's cooked for a longer time in a sauce, and then we have it with plain rice. That's rajma rice.
No, we don't have it here. I don't know.
Sami, I just wanted to ask you to please put your Instagram handle or something on the chat, so that if you have
questions, yes, I'll write it.
Yes,
okay.
Sure.
You're welcome.
I think Mehdi also, I guess, if he puts his handle in, I don't know whether he's very fluent with English. But
yes. I will ask him to do it. Yes, I will ask him to write his Instagram account here.
All right.
What is famous?
Thank you.
What is the famous food there?
يحبك تحط الانستغرام تاع كونت انستغرام في الكومنتير.
You can check our YouTube channel. So I will write the name of our YouTube channel, which is about Tunisian street food in general, in the comments section, in the chat section.
Sure. It will also be good if you put in your Instagram handle, so that if somebody wants to message you, they can message you.
Yes.
Would you like to please send your number in WhatsApp, because I don't know that Instagram.
The name is the same name for the YouTube channel, the Instagram account, and the Facebook page. You can check it, and the blog, of course. You can check it. The same name, Tunisian street food. Yes, that's it.
Can you please repeat the name of the YouTube channel?
Tunisian street food. Tunisian.
Would you like to write it in the chat box?
I wrote it in the chat section. You can see it.
I don't think that's come in there. Could you put it again? Oh, okay, yeah. Now we got it.
It's written, yes, it's written. Tunisian street food.
Literally, I just wrote Tunisian and it came.
All right.
Okay.
Right.
Yes.
Ma'am, you did not write your Insta account. You say.
So she mentioned that the Insta account and the YouTube channel is the same link, is same name. Yeah.
It is the link.
We shared the link in the chat section. You can check it if you want.
in chat box?
Yes, in the chat box it's written. It's Tunisian street food.
Yes, I copied it. Now,
Yes.
yes, I find YouTube link.
All right. So guys,
yes.
thank you so
Samia,
much.
I think you could also put it there. It'll be great. Your
Yes.
Instagram.
In fact, it's not active, so that's why I have to update it before.
Like the desi foods and all.
Okay. Okay. Then I think you can share it through Saurav. Saurav has
Yes.
on the
yes.
WhatsApp or something. Thank you.
Exactly. Yes, I will do it.
Okay. So yeah, sure. So just in case any of you guys miss the YouTube link or the Instagram handle, you can always message Small World. Okay. Or just message on Small World Instagram, or you might be having my WhatsApp number. Feel free to message me for if you need anyone's contact. I can share that with their permission. And wow, thank you so much for sharing all these tips and knowledge.
You are welcome, and we thank you for your interest for Tunisia. So it's really an opportunity to talk about our country, and it's really an occasion to recommend it to other people and to advise them to come and visit. So that was really a good opportunity for us to talk about our country and to encourage Indians to come, and I'm sure they won't regret it. So that's we thank you so much for this occasion. So that was really kind. So we are happy to share this experience with you. So that was very fruitful, and I hope that we were helpful to you and that we gave you tips of advice that are helpful.
Very much.
This
Actually,
was immensely helpful.
Nice to
actually, you should ask Saurav to conduct an Indian immersion in your place so that you can pull all your audiences to have,
yes, okay.
also see how Indian food and Indian culture and Indian language.
Yes, maybe, maybe we'll do
Thank
this.
you. Thank you for Mrs. سامية. يعطيك الصحة. أنا مستكان باللغة العربية. سامية نترجم لهم. نشكر الأخت سامية على العضوة معنا في فريق تونيزيان ستريت فود على الترجمة الفورية اللي قامت بها وعلى حضورها معنا في آخر لحظة. كذلك نشكر الفريق كامل اللي حاضر معنا اليوم واللي استدعانا لليوم الثقافي التونسي لتعريف بالثقافة التونسية. شكرا جزيلا. نحن خلوخر على أهبة الاستعداد باش نكون معكم في أي وقت للتعامل معكم في المجال الثقافي ولا التواصل في أي موضوع يهم تونس ويهم العلاقات التونسية الهندية. Thank you very much.
He's asking, so he's thanking
you for spending.
He's thanking all the participants in this conversation. And he's saying that he was really glad to share this conversation and to share this experience and to talk about our country, Tunisia, and that he's ready to share any other experience based on this project that is really a cultural day and in which we share different experiences. And so we are too much happy and glad to participate in this experience. And we thank you so much for that.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Surab. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Surab.
You're welcome.
Excuse
and
me,
thanks to
sir.
you. Sure, go on. Tell me.
Tomorrow also classes is or not?
No. So yes, I wanted to share with all of you that with cultural immersion, every second Saturday we choose a new country about which we can talk about. Okay, so the next cultural immersion will be next week on a Saturday, and then we're gonna be talking about Austria. Okay, and
so as a teacher, I want to thank you so much for this type of experience that you give to your pupils. I was really amazed, I was really enthusiastic, and that's something that is really interesting, and I want to thank you for this type of experience. That's really encouraging and giving another perspective of seeing culture and other civilizations. So that's really, I really want to thank you as a teacher for this type of experience.
So Samia, I must say that it's possible just because of the beautiful hosts like you who take out time
Thank you.
and join
Thank
the
you.
session.
That was a pleasure. That was a pleasure.
Yes. So what we are doing is that so we keep in touch with all the hosts, and we are always happy to welcome our hosts to all the sessions. So okay, so it's like we will let you know through the mail. Okay, we'll drop a mail in case if there is any future immersion you guys would like to join. You know, because it's like a global family. And right now, when the whole world is mostly, you know, locked down in their home because they can't step out because of the lockdown, I felt that this is one way we can celebrate oneness by celebrating different cultures. And we can do that through the Zoom call. So this is an ongoing thing. Yeah, we will love to do that. And as Shyam Swaraj just mentioned that, you know, we should host Indian immersion for all the hosts who host immersion for us. So yes, that's very much in the plan. What we are doing is we are hosting a festival just exclusively for our hosts. So all the hosts who has been part of the immersion and who hosted immersion for us, so we are inviting them. So like in the past, we hosted Uzbekistani cultural immersion, we hosted Lebanese, we hosted Vietnamese, we hosted Pakistanis, and now we are inviting all the hosts to come and join us for an Indian one. So, you know, so that it's good for cultural exchange. And I feel like all of us have a lot to learn from each other. And the more we learn from each other, we get to know like how close we are. And yeah, we become closer by sharing our stories and experiences.
Yes, sure.
Very
that was
true,
a real
true.
pleasure.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So
Saturday's timing is same.
Oh yes. So next Saturday, same time, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. it is. You can get updates about the cultural immersion through the Instagram page of Small World. Okay, which I will just mention in the chat box. Yeah, and that's the best way to keep in touch with us and be aware of what is the next immersion we are hosting. Yeah, also we record the entire session, so I will share the recording with all the hosts. So I'll soon share the link where you can see the video. Also, we will make small clips out of it that you can use it for your own promotions. Also, a lot of times we get in touch with the local publications or local media who would like to write about the event. So we will also try to get in touch with any local, maybe Tunisian media who would like to cover it. Usually embassies are very much interested. In the past, we got in touch with the embassies, and embassies, they covered our event because, you know, they want to promote cultural exchange, and they want to write about how they were part of such event. So yeah, all those things are there. If you guys have any suggestions, any feedback, you're most welcome. All of you have my WhatsApp number, so you can always drop me a message and let me know.
So, sir,
And it would be great if all of
COVID-19.
Yeah, go on, please, one at a time.
So before, as you make this program, so was it before COVID-19 also?
Yeah, so we were there. We started last year
So you
itself.
take all the people at that place and yes.
Right. So before COVID, we were doing it offline. We were doing it at one location, but we are thankful for the pandemic that we made it online, and now more people can join, because offline we have limitations. We can't host everyone, and it's not easy for hosts to join from different countries. But online, everyone can join, so that's great. So we're gonna continue online immersions. Yeah.
And it would be great if all of you who are basically, I mean, especially the hosts who are there, can actually write a small write-up on your blogs or your social channels. So that will be, you know, your experience typically. That would be a great way of sharing your thoughts on the.
So here is the thing, guys. If any of you use Instagram, and if you write a post about your experience joining the cultural immersion, please tag us, because we would love to feature those stories. Okay, you can just use our handle @small.world. We would love to you know, see such posts or stories.
Okay.
All right.
Great.
So
Thank you.
with
Okay,
that,
thank you so
guys, we'll
much.
take leave. Yeah, take care. Have a nice day.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Thank you so
Bye,
much.
sir. Bye,
Goodbye.
ma'am.